Today's episode, Crashcast, whatever the fuck, we're talking about the unsung heroes of the music world. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, production life. And I've got with me two of my best buddies, and we've done production for years. I don't anymore, neither does Jay Bass over here, but I kind of like to, but it just doesn't. The money's just not there, and
Well,
that's why I left anyway.
Well, the companies around here, they don't really pay
Right,
what you're actually worth.
20 hours and $50 is not my idea of a fun time. And then
that pyramid scheme, baby.
and then to my right is one of the funniest, most hilarious speaking people on planet Earth. He has more ways to say things you never knew you needed to say things in that way before. I don't even know how to describe the way this man speaks. Nick Harris.
Hello, hello.
Yay.
Yeah, man. Nick is a bona fide, you're a certified LD. You got all the paperwork and everything, am I correct?
Well, certified staging technician.
There you go, closer.
Certified staging technician, but yeah, I am an LD. Not necessarily like certified, but I guess you would say full-fledged.
Right. Been there, done that. You put in your 10,000 hours.
Oh yeah, that and then some. That and then some.
So, dudes, I want to talk about all the cool shit. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, we all met because of production work.
Oh,
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'll get into how me and Nick met, and then I know you remember how me and you met,
Yeah.
right? 'Cause
Mostly.
You remembered it the other day, and I was like, oh, shit, that is right. And I completely had forgotten. I'm a terrible friend, and I'm sorry.
It happens, man.
But I remember, Nick, we were working in Harrison, Arkansas, which is one of the worst places you could ever be on Earth.
Yeah,
in the
totally.
middle of fucking nowhere on a mountain. So.
Not just its implications of Harrison, Arkansas, but just the fact that it is on top of a mountain in the middle of nowhere is a garbage pile of a fucking city.
It's definitely hills have guys territory.
And also, before we get into it, I want to state that this is a laid-back episode today, people. We are drinking beer. It is opening week of football season, which I have no idea what any of that means, but they do, and that's why we're over at Nick's house. He's cooking us venison, bacon, prosciutto burgers. Did your mouth just water? Because mine did, and I get to eat it. Fuck you! But anyway, sorry, I get excited when Nick cooks, dude. This guy's a chef unreal.
You just say you want Nick's meat in your mouth.
I do. I want all of Nick's meat in my mouth, every last delicious, greasy inch.
I mean, and if you gag, you'll just burn that cross when you get to it.
You're true. All right.
I just love to cook good food for people that matter to me.
Right. And you are a fucking chef indeed. If you ever quit production work, chefery better be the next thing on the table. But anyhow, so we're in Harrison, Arkansas, and I'm with our mutual friend, Aaron Hurley. And he's like, hey, I got this guy. He's coming. I'm like, thank God, because I think there was like 4 of us for this massive production. And I literally remember still to this day you coming down that hill, that hill from that behind the stage.
Yeah, that amphitheater with that
Yep.
built-in step
grassy
down.
Steps, yeah. And it's the college amphitheater, I think.
Yeah, it was like Northwest Arc College or something in Harrison.
Right. And we've worked there multiple times, but this time is when we actually met each other. And Nick's the size of an actual linebacker, and he comes hulking down these stairways. He's like, this is Nick. And I'm like, thank God, dude. This guy's going to be able to lift things. And then I'm not even really sure how many years ago that was, but we've been friends literally ever since.
It's probably been, I'd probably have to say maybe 12 years, maybe 10 and 12, somewhere in there.
I think it has to be more than 10, actually, because I don't think I was in the band I'm in currently, and we've been around for 11 years.
I just remember you worked like a rave at the Village like the night before, and I think I'd worked at this bar in Little Rock called Sticky Fingers the night before, and a friend of mine could not make the gig, and I'd somehow got the offering, and I was already booked to do like some bullshit ass like tractor pull in Little Rock or something with a production company I'd been with for a little while, but I didn't feel like it was going anywhere. And once I got the opportunity to work with Greengrass, I respected these guys. I'd seen these guys move around, and I was like, I gotta be part of that team.
Right.
I gotta be part of that team.
And it was fucking, and the years that followed were just unreal, man. We had such a good fucking time. And then we met J-Bass, I want to say, right after that.
It was the Bellagio or the
right.
The
So there was a
Village
local there was a local venue that all of our good friend Blake Sandifer was running.
Yep, the Sandman.
Oh, Sandman, and me and you were already working there, I think.
No, I wasn't working there
You
yet.
weren't working there. I was, and then
09.
okay,
Like,
so
beginning I think of 09 is when I started doing stuff.
okay. But anyway, so you started working there, and then that's how me and you met. You remembered the show though the other day, and wasn't it on stage?
It might have been.
Like mid-performance. You said it the other day, and I was like, "Oh, holy fuck!" And it came flooding back, and now I've already forgotten again that because.
I mean, there's so many fucking war stories from then too. So it's.
Oh, dude, that's where most of my war stories. I mean,
Yeah.
that was fucking just a wild ass time. But that show,
that was like, it's one of the industries where it's who you know.
Right.
Like you have to know
totally.
the right folks to get to the right places.
Right. Oh, you do? No, yeah, it's fucking it's nepotism all the way in this industry, man.
But once you're in there, man, it's fucking like you just swim through and you can meet all the contacts you fucking want. Really,
Unreal contacts, dude.
Yes.
Unreal, dude. I had contacts to people like mind blowing that you'd be like, "Well, you have this guy's fucking name and number in your phone?" It's like, yeah, and I can actually call him and he'll answer.
But the first night I think I met Nick was actually Deadmau5 when I hung it. It was at the back door.
Yeah, I think so.
And
I think so.
the fuck got on stage, and you're like, "You gotta go, buddy. Like, give me that wristband too." Like you're like, "But my friends are in there." It's like, well, you shouldn't got on stage. So
That's that Wayne's World. Yeah, a lot of people's friends are in there.
yeah, a lot of people's girlfriends are there.
So, dude, I want to. Okay, so people listening might not know what the production end of a concert is. It's basically everything that the band isn't doing. So we're talking lights, we're talking sound, we're talking really. I mean,
the front door to the back
front
door.
to the back door, man.
It's
it.
everything but the actual artist
But
themselves.
the artist, yeah.
Like the physical being of them. Like
So,
that's all we
and I
don't
just want to
touch.
reiterate, like people come to a concert and they're there for an average about 3 hours, correct? Average
Roughly,
concert's
yeah.
about 3 hours long. What they don't see, and what we've all seen, is the 20-hour day that went into that 3-hour concert. And that's kind of what I want to get to. So, and some shit happens bad. We're going to tell some more horror stories here, and we're going to tell some fucking awesome stories here. But what I want to get to is, like, Nick's number one dog. So, Nick, walk us through like a good day production, like step 1 to step 10. Like we're done, we're packed up, we're going home. Like, what does that day look like? Like, me and J-Bass know, but the people listening might not have a clue as to how crazy that day really is.
Well, it kind of has a bit of variation, I would say, depending on like what outfit that you're moving with at the time. And like if you're like a production company from here out of Little Rock, Arkansas, you're coming in with a very skeleton crew. There is no breakfast, there is no coffee. Most of the time there aren't any hands, and you have all the way until sound check to get this rig ready before these artists walk in, and they don't want to have to lift a finger. They don't want to have to worry about anything. That's why you advance this gig. You did all these things to put the precautions in place to make the show run the way it should. But when you're a skeleton crew and you're coming in on, I don't know, I think the longest amount of days we ran without an actual day off was like 52 or 56 days.
Jesus Christ.
And I mean, it's all of getting 3 and 4 hours of sleep, but you roll into the venue. A lot of times, if you're in an arena, they're gonna rent the house stage. But
Right.
if not, you've got to build it. Or in our fact, we carried hydraulic stages, so that would be one less thing we would have to worry about. All we would need is a generator. But it's very very tiring being a skeleton crew, because you're the stage guy, you're the lighting guy, you're also the video guy, and you're getting paid one hat's pay that
so
day.
a lot of people don't understand that when it's go time, you're still there. You're still working because now you have a new job.
Exactly. And in order for you to get the rig up, you have to get your lighting up, you have to get your video points made. So many little things break down into it. And then you're talking about guys operating on no sleep. So it's very hard to keep your balls about you and not just lose it on your roommate or your really good friend that you're working with, and just try to get through it. That's ultimately like the mental fabric You have to possess that, or it's not going to work.
Oh, no, you have to have some mental fortitude, man. You have to be strong-willed. You can't just be some average fucking guy coming in and thinking you're going to hang with these monsters. I mean, these guys, I mean, you specifically, I don't even know that I could do this shit anymore, man. Like, I literally think you guys are like literal fucking just, you guys come in, you're working. I remember gigs, dude, we would come in at 7 a.m. and we're not fucking leaving until 3 a.m. And then we're going to not usually a bar, but we're going to go get a drink somewhere, whatever's open, via a gas station and a beer in a parking lot. And then, we're not getting home till 5, you know?
There's always the bullshit that happens at every setup. Like you might be lucky enough to get 1 or 2 days to where like everything goes smoothly.
Those are usually after it's all set up, though.
Well,
right?
yeah,
Those are like.
But I mean, like going after like after you just put in like 18 hours, you're like, well, I need to unwind real quick because this. I don't want to just go to sleep and wake up in 4 hours and do this shit all over again.
Oh, dude, there was nights where we just didn't go to sleep. The night I met him, he was saying, dude, we literally worked a show at the Village, which there the production's already set up, but you're still there at 3. I think the average start time was 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's when the bands show up. You're loading gear. You're flying their lights, their scrims, their wall hangers, all the extra bullshit if they have speakers. And, fucking ICP set up a literal fucking carnival the first time they came. So, like, all that bullshit. And then we ended at, like, I think it was like 1 in the morning. We leave Little Rock, Arkansas, and we drive to fucking Harrison, Arkansas, which is 3.5-ish hours away.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And then we literally get out of the truck and walk up and start pulling shit out of a van. And the only people that slept were the passengers. And I drove that night. We didn't leave that show until... I do believe it was around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I think so.
And then drove home.
Yeah, I mean me and Nick actually did that with but it was all in town. It was in Little Rock when we did Anthony Hamilton at the amphitheater, and then we had a wedding going on across the river at the Hilton, and then we had to tear both of those down and then get back to the fucking State House to set up on their top ballroom floor and do that gig for the rest of the day because it was like some Christian gig, but it was day to night.
Yeah, it was just so crazy taking gear from 3 different spots, or just having to like shave off some audio guys. And here I have this guy's production manager being like, hey man, where the fuck is your monitor guy? And in the back of my mind, I know he's at this hotel across the river setting up this PA, trying to get this gig going. And I'm like, man, he's in the bathroom or he's at catering. I'm just trying to cover our ass, and we don't have enough men. And
right.
that's majority of the time.
Yeah, that's pretty much a constant, if you will.
I
like
mean,
if you looked at it like a timeline, that's a constant, is being understaffed.
I mean,
and
that's just the extra layer of stress, man.
Right. And that's why I say unsung heroes, man, because almost every single one of a production worker, you can ask them or talk to them, and they're going to say all of these exact same things. Another fucking shit of it is you never know what you're coming into. Like me and...
Correct.
Oh, dude, me and him got roped into one day, man, going to this show. And do you remember this shit with the elevator and the staging? Okay, so the stage was upstairs. And those people don't understand that these decks weigh...
they're 150 pounds.
150 pounds, and they're 4 foot, but they're a sheet of plywood big, right?
4 by 8.
4 by 8 with aluminum structure and a fiberglass top. And they weigh 150 pounds apiece. Well, the elevator, see, you couldn't go up the stairs because they were like ancient fucking stair. I don't know. They had a problem with it.
It was at the Mosaic.
Mosaic Templars downtown Little Rock. Yeah.
But the actual staging, only one piece would fit in the elevator, and it was exactly the size of the elevator. So remember, we would have to come in at an angle and go up.
Yeah, it was insane.
And then hold it there, and then stop the elevator at the top floor, and then angle it, come back down. While we're walking this fucking thing, you can't let it touch the floor.
Yeah.
It's like the floor is fucking lava because it's 200 years old and they don't want to scratch on their old-ass floor. They did just redo it, so I guess that's fair. But my God, it took us, like, dude, it was like 3 hours just to get the stage up the fucking stairs. It was just me and Nick.
Yeah, I actually remember you talking about that because, like, you are having the fingertip.
Literally.
And that was like, no, that's when y'all taking it down and you don't have to like fingertip to carry it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, 150 pounds, it's already awkward. Like, it's not fun,
dude. And that shit, it doesn't seem like a lot with two big ass dudes, but when you're holding it for a quarter of a mile down an elevator in a fucking
there's marble and nice finished everything
you
from
can't put it down.
The stage room to the out.
Right. It's just, oh my God, what a time. But man, you know, it's another another fucked up thing is it's a pay your dues industry.
Yes.
And I can't.
Everybody has different terms and links.
Every one of them, and so a lot of production life is you don't work for one company, you work for a couple of them. Like we all work for like 3 or 4. You know, Nick, you still pull rank at a few places. You typically will have like your main place, but you'll always catch some side work at like a venue or.
You just have to. I mean, there's almost no way to survive being a production guy in Little Rock, Arkansas, if you're not touring heavy or working for a company that's doing a lot of like corporate work. I mean, it comes and it goes, and when the work's not there, you got to figure it out, and then maybe go bounce in a bar or go work the door at some spot or whatever. But you have to keep pushing forward until that next big gig hits.
Right. And here's another interesting thing, dude. You're working all these hours, you're working all these jobs, you're making almost nothing. It's really barely enough to survive.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving up your holidays, you're giving up your anniversaries. You got like, I don't have any kids, but you got family, like
guys do though.
You know, nephews and nieces and stuff. Kids happening, they're stuck on the road, snowed in.
Friends' birthdays.
I mean, you sacrifice a lot, but at the end of the day, when you close the door on that truck and you look around and there's like 3 other tired motherfuckers. And you've all killed it. You haven't eaten. The first question's like, man, where's my beer and where's the bed?
Yeah, beer and bed.
And you did it though. You know, I mean,
well, dude, being a production dude's like being a band. It's a connection that not a lot of people have, and you can't really appreciate it until you've done it. It's like, you know, it's like touring. You become closer. You become best buds. It's like. You basically become a family because you all struggled through that bullshit, and you're all really barely surviving. And you're like even at the end of the night, you're not even thinking like, I haven't eaten for 20 hours. You're like, where's my beer? Where's my bed? I'll shower if I'm lucky.
Yeah, I need to wind down and like just go talk it out, you know, that kind of thing, and just run through the day. And at that point, like that delirium's hitting you, and that is one of the craziest things I think I felt with being on the road is not actually like taking any drug, but just feeling so just lethargic and just out there. It's a weird feeling, but you grow to love it over time because you know that you've pushed yourself farther than you did before, and you're stretching that muscle, and it just grows and grows.
100%, dude. I think that's actually the reason why. Man, I think I'd actually still do it, dude. If I, I got married and had I had my live-in girlfriend, I probably would still be doing it, but it was the money aspect. The time really wasn't the issue. It was just, I can't give you 20 hours of my day if you're only going to give me less than what my gas bill costs, you know? So for me, it was just kind of like, well, I guess my life just kind of decided, well, you just can't do this anymore. And I still do it sometimes, very rare, like if you call me or whatever, but even that's been a couple years. I don't think I've worked a full production since our show, the one we did together where we brought all that stuff in, and even that was a light production.
That was a good one though, man. That was a good 10-year. You know, like that was, I mean, despite the circumstances,
right? I
mean, that was a hell of a production we put together there.
One of my favorites. I think we're going to outdo ourselves this year, though. I know the projection was cool and all, but like I really am excited about That's another thing I want to talk about, the lighting and stuff. So, you know, a lot of people like sometimes the lights have to go up before the stage even goes up. We're in scissor lifts.
It's one of the first like that in audio because if you're in say like Clear Channel, like they already have like points where you can rig from, and you can just you'll hang your truss, and then you'll hang your speakers, your lights. Actually, I think you hang your speakers first.
It's predetermined.
But yeah, I mean, but you have, especially if it's over a stage where it's going to be built, like you gotta get that shit right.
Right, yeah, because if it's anything that's over the stage, if it has to be over a certain amount of feet, probably 20 feet, if it's over 20 feet, you have to bring in a machine to get your ass up there, or you have to hire a rigger.
Or there's only a 30-foot genie lift, and it's a 40-foot ceiling.
Right.
So guess who gets to stand on the railing to get this done?
Yeah. Yeah, not this fat fuck. I never did that shit. I did watch Nick bust up a bunch of tile in a fucking foyer once, though. Trying to get a genie lift in. They were like, just put this rug down. Yeah, that worked.
Yeah, we got that out of there real quick, and I act like it never happened. You just gotta, sometimes there ain't nobody else there. I'm gonna move, and I'm gonna let you so-called break it.
Right. But so here's what's crazy, man. It's like, okay, so on top of all that stuff, now here comes the hard part where the gear that's in these trucks, dude, are worth more than our fucking houses. $1 million is nothing in production life. You say the word $1 million, people are like, oh, so that's like a normal production for an arena, right?
No.
I remember we worked a Skrillex show, and he had this new kind of light. It was an LCD fixed to a mover head, and it was like he was like the first guy to do it. Everyone was all excited about him. We were like, holy shit, these look amazing. And I was talking to their production assistant, the guy who was running the show, I guess the TM.
I think it might have been the TM, but I think the LD was also like a video guy as well.
Right. Well, he had to be because they ran video.
Yeah.
Well, dude, those were $50,000 a piece. Those lights, and if you looked at it, any normal person would be like, "You're fucking out of your mind. It's just a TV mounted to an arm that moves." And it's like, well, it's a very sophisticated TV mounted to an arm that moves, and it costs $50,000. So you're having to hold this shit, move this shit. We're big dudes, man. I'm not gentle with anything.
You can try to be gentle,
right?
But sometimes you just have a case that gets out of your hands.
That beast comes out,
and it just it touches the wall, and like you put your hand on it as it fucking mars the shit up,
right?
And it's fuck.
Well, Dude.
Did anybody see me do this? No? Okay, well, I'm going to walk on.
Hopefully it's not broke.
Before I left my last production job, I had a habit of writing G Harry everywhere, which was Gary, but you put a G in front of Harry, and you pronounce it the same way.
That's a very useless, amusing story.
It really is.
But like getting into it though, that is another thing that would happen on the road. Me and J Bass, we did a lot of gigs together, and when we were in like situations where we didn't really want to be bothered or we were too tired, we would go very outlandish and just like hold the court there. And people don't want to be around you when you're just talking out of your ass, and it doesn't sound pleasant,
no,
you know.
The TM from Modest Yahoo is one of those folks that was just like, I'm gonna pull up my phone. Oh, I'm not gonna touch anything.
Oh yeah, he
did
the fake phone trick.
Oh
yeah,
dude.
like I'm getting a call, but he's not. He just had to get away from us, and that's what we were patiently seeking.
I actually had a guy at the Village. I think we were all there. I don't know if you guys were standing around me, but I cuss like a fucking sailor. I love it. I love swearing. And that guy was like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but we were all sitting around talking. It was like mid-setup, and it was one of those breaks we were waiting on something to happen. And the guy comes over, and he was just like, you guys cuss way too much. And we were like, bull fucking shit.
Fuck you too, sir.
But, dude, I get what you're saying of like, you have to, and when you get a group of dudes, especially like what we were, man, at the Village, it was like we were a team, and nobody fucked with our team, and you couldn't tell us what to do. We'll do it. Like, we're here to work for you. Like, you're our boss, but this isn't our first rodeo, and I don't know how many fucking times we had to stick it to a couple of promoters.
Oh, for sure.
Because this is definitely an industry where big dicks are swinging, egos are on high, and you can't let somebody walk all over you. That's like that fucking guy in that one shitty-ass band that wanted to check 19 microphones at one time, and they thought they were going to come at me because I wasn't going to play their fucking bullshit games. You remember, because they thought you were me, and they were giving you shit too. That's how stupid they were.
So me and you both have also.
It was rehab. The band was fucking rehab. They tried.
Yeah, it was rehab.
They tried to check 9 mics at one time, literally. They had 9 people on stage checking vocal mics at one time.
Noodle City.
And then the guitar player, this is how fucking stupid it is. I'm working for this guy. I've been working with him for about 6 hours now. There's a guitar boat on stage that's the other touring act's guitar boat. I'm in monitor world. This is when I was already doing monitors. And he was like, hey, man, whose boat is this? And I was like, I have no idea. He's like, well, get it off the stage. I was like, move it your fucking self. I'm not here for you. You know? Like, and he was like, what? And I was like, move it your fucking self. And then he's just like, oh, and he gets mad and all his buddies get mad. Well, then they think Nick is me. And they start giving Nick shit too. Well, in mid-show, he's like, hey, turn up my shit. So I did it, and then he got a little attitude, right? He was like, turn it up. So I turned it all the way off. Right.
Sometimes you just got to, man.
Listen, dude, rule number 1, don't piss off the sound guy.
Oh, no, it's you don't shit talk your waitress, do you? Well, if you do, then you have like semen. You've eaten other people's semen.
But this, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is an industry where you cannot let yourself get walked over. And finally, I could see he was mad enough, so I finally fucking put it back to where it was originally, and then he gives me the thumbs up. Like, oh, that's good. I gave him the middle finger. And then I walked away. I didn't do monitors the rest of the night. I just walked away. That board sat fucking silent the rest of the night. That was like track 4 of the night. And, you know, but we all have shit like that. Nick, tell me a story where you couldn't let somebody railroad you because you're not going to be bitched out, because then they're just, here's the deal, is if you get railroaded, they're just going to railroad you all night.
Yeah.
I know we all know this.
Yeah, man. There's been a few shows. I've been fairly lucky with a lot of my friends and a few of my mentors that are like big time LDs that have worked with Bowie and Cher and all that. Went out with Aerosmith, and I've worked with LDs with them, and I get the easier part of it that day. I don't know how. I try to just keep the peace and try to have everything that they ask for, and it works out pretty well. But there was, I think I did a I Love the 90s tour. It was probably like the most recent tour that I was a part of, and that's like Tone Loc, Vanilla Ice, Rob Bass, Salt and Pepper, Kid and Play, and they cycle a bunch of different artists do that as well. And man, Vanilla Ice never really like ribbed at me too much, but man, he gave the audio guys hell. Like it was awful.
Vanilla Ice was picky.
He was super picky.
Well, he was not flipping houses, man. He was pissed.
I guess he was kind of a steamy turd at that time because he was on Dancing with the Stars,
right?
And
rekindling that career.
He never really messed with me because he didn't understand what it went into the Resolume, the video rig that I was running. And I used to do this thing where I never get any fucking advancement or anything. Like if I want to know who I'm working with, I have to figure it out myself.
Right.
I have to get my own content because I'm usually told, yeah, they're going to have a video guy and they're going to have this and they're going to have that. And then they don't show up. And then what are you going to do? Stand there with your pants down? And hey, man, I'm sorry, I don't have your shit. So I got all the artwork for all the artists on that I Love the 90s tour. And we went out to one gig, and my friend Raw Dog, Randy Stinson, my old tour manager with the North Mississippi All-Stars, was supposed to go with us for this gig. And something happened. He was down in his back. So we had to take one of our other friends. His name is Chris. And he was going to be the monitor guy. And they asked me if I wanted to be the monitor guy, but I knew there was no way I can do video and monitors. And I'd already seen how this shit show of a sound check goes. So I'd wanted nothing to do with monitors. And so our buddy Chris stepped up, and it was a utter fucking failure. Chris was a little in over his head, and he was trying his hardest, but luckily one of the other guys on the tour stepped up and picked up the ball where he dropped it. He just couldn't cater to the artist that fast, and it wasn't ready. So we go through the gig. That other guy picks it up. We end up blowing a fucking like handful of monitors that night. So the next morning we're at the next arena. I think this was like Wichita and then Tulsa. And so we get to Tulsa, and the 90s crew rolls in. Vanilla Ice and his fucking Waffle House gear and shit comes in, and he's greeting everyone. I'm going down the list, and he gets down to Chris, and he's like, hey Chris, you fucking suck. and then just like cruises off to breakfast like nobody's fucking business. And
that's gotta hurt your feelings though. Vanilla Ice just said you fucking suck.
And I mean, to Chris's credit, he picked it up and made it work. But
at least he tried.
He did try.
He tried. I would have said, "Bitch, give me that ninja rap."
I mean,
fuck you.
There was one point where Vanilla Ice said that they were all good, and it was like, all right, cool, shit's good. And then his DJ wanted something. Well, Chris had already went to lunch. We're in Tulsa. Really decent catering, decent hands. Some of the best I'd ever been around. I mean, in 10, 12 years I've been doing this. And Chris is at lunch. Well, Vanilla Ice comes back out to finish up the sound check, and he gets on the mic, and he's asking, where's Chris at? Nobody knows where Chris is at. Chris is in catering. And so Chris, somebody goes and gets him out of catering, tells him he's not done yet, and he comes back over, and Vanilla Ice asks him how his vacation was, and how's his kids doing, and how's all this shit going. And Vanilla Ice did not like Chris.
I can tell.
That 90s tour, it's weird with like, and some of the hip hop stuff and some of the other stuff, like, I mean, you're gonna get put through the ringer, and they're just gonna try to see like how much you can take before you break, and you got to be stern.
Well, a lot of those guys, man, they come from that old world where production was a very dangerous thing, where if you weren't paying attention and doing your job right, people could actually lose their fucking life. It's not so much that way these days, I don't think, because
it's still like that.
Well, it is, but like,
I mean, you know, if you're not fucking paying attention, and especially if you're setting up one of those big trust stages that are
right,
a fucking atrocious nightmare that you should never use.
100%.
I mean, you can only have a stage clap so many times.
Right. Well, no, I'm saying
you need
like
to stop using it.
Well, that's true. I'm saying like just in general, the shit is lighter. It's not as heavy as it used to be.
There's a lot more safety
but there's a lot more safety precautions. The cases really haven't changed much, but the stuff inside them has changed dramatically.
Oh, totally. I mean, line arrays have paved the way. I mean, there's not a wall of sound anymore. It's a handful of cabinets and a handful of amplifiers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already the rigging. These guys have spent millions of dollars, even down to the way it packs in a truck.
Yes, it's all thought about now.
So it takes a lot of strain off the techs, but at the same time, when you're in a skeleton crew, it's still fucking tough.
Well, it takes a lot of strain off, but it also puts a lot of mental strain back on because they did put all that detail into it. So now these things cost unreal money. You're pushing a case, dude. I mean, we've all done it. You push a case, and they're like, "Hey, that's $100,000 right there," and you're like, "Then why the fuck is my big ox ass holding it?" You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, hey, that fucking projector you're holding here, yeah, that's $500,000. Well, then I don't want to fucking even touch it. You come over here, you touch it. Like, it's unreal, man.
I'm not liable, right? I'm not liable.
I hope y'all got insurance. Hope y'all got insurance.
Bitch, I'm like Lenny, and this projector is about to get gunned.
Like even packing gear though. I mean, because like to get that $100,000 case, sometimes it has to go on top of another case in the truck you hauled it on.
Yeah, they'll say
that's
wheels
scary.
up.
Just fucking loading in can be scary, or loading your trailer or whatever you have.
Right, dude. And those, man, I think there's a misconception people have, dude, with how it just, when you show up somewhere and it's already done, you're just like, oh, this is a thing. And then, sometimes you'll see a video online of a production going up, but it's always like stop motion.
It's fast forwarded for sure.
And it's fast forwarded through everything. And it's like, if you really want to know what goes into a concert, and honestly, dude, if you're a musician, you really should go work some production. Whether you're pushing cases at the warehouse or you're literally just a gopher, you should go see all the people that put your fucking show together.
It'll definitely humble you.
Humble you a million, dude. Even
big
like
old piece of that pie.
Oh, dude, I used to. Man, I think I literally still to this day think that's the best thing that ever happened in my music career is working shows.
Well, I mean, it helps. It definitely helps put shit in perspective to the point where like your shit in your monitors. Yeah, it's important to an extent, but
it's everything, man. It's how you treat the door guy.
Yes.
It's how you come into the venue. You show respect.
Yes.
You respect the people working and don't disrespect anyone because you actually don't know their job in this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've had it was in Osceola when we did their little music fest, fucking Blackberry Smoke, their guitar tech and their tour managers wanted to be a fucking cocksucker. I was accused of stealing a guitar slide, which they had a drawer full of. But yeah, no, like they wanted to press the issue, so our fucking stage manager, he pulled everybody off their loadout. He's like, all right, guess what? Yes. Guess what, man? You load your own shit out now.
Yep.
Bye. We're going to get your shit off our stage because we want to go home.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've been to a couple of those too, and we all know fucking Nick's definitely had a couple of those.
I don't like doing that, but at the same time, it's like,
well, dude,
don't act like that.
It's
you don't
not
get
your
that treatment.
That's what the artist doesn't understand is it's not just your fucking show.
Yeah.
The guy who put up the stage has as much heart about tonight as you do. The only difference is he's getting a smaller cut, and he worked 20 fucking hours, and you only worked 35 fucking minutes. Suck a big fat dick. That's where the humble pie comes in. If you can look a guy who just set up your light rig and your stage in the fucking face and be a dick to him, and knowing that when you go home, he has to break all that shit down, he's going to be there till 2 a.m, and you have to assume he has a family. He might not, but you have to assume he does. So he's missing out on all that shit too. If you can look that guy in the face and still be an asshole, then you are a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, unreal. Fuck you. You don't deserve shit. You don't deserve to be where you're at, that's for sure.
No.
And there's subtle ways to take care of assholes like that that no one ever even realizes, especially when you're the LD. And here you got this fucking drummer that's been pitching this big old bitch.
You talking about burning them up?
No, yeah. Not wanting to use the backline kit. He wants to bring his fucking 22-inch kick drum in here that's probably got like a fucking 16-inch hole in it. And I'm like, why even have the fucking head? And it gets to a point where we have to have the cops involved to tell him he's not using his drum kit. And so when he gets on stage, I walk out to the rig, just real nice and easy, and I make sure that my fucking par cans are roasting his hillbilly ass. He's gonna feel it when he gets off stage. I've also done that to Uncle Cracker one time, and I'll give you a fucking suntan.
Oh, dude, Maestro at Sticky Fingers, that's his favorite thing. You go ahead and ask Maestro for one extra thing. Go ahead and ask him, because guess what you're gonna hear back in those monitors? He's like, "This is my favorite thing Maestro's ever said to me." I like Maestro. I'm a rare breed.
Maestro.
I think he's one of
Maestro's my boy.
He's one of the legends, I feel, and especially in the downtown district.
I think the man has a heart of gold, and he just loves his job. And when he sees a band come in that is kind of stupid, he gets a little agitated, right? So, and I know this because I know Maestro, and I've worked with him a few times. And I walk in, and I'm like, "Hey, Maestro, man, I hate to ask, but man, I really do actually need some of this guitar in my monitor, even though I told you I didn't." He goes, "All right, but I'm gonna burn your ass up." And guess what? All fucking night was a fucking murder fest of lighting, right? And he doesn't do the colored lenses. He'll put it on bright white, and he's gonna point it right at your ass. Everything in front of you is gonna be on. It's gonna be full brightness. And, and I was like, "Damn it, dude, I get it." But honestly, I've been where he is, and I'm like, "Yep, I get it. I told you I didn't need it, and I did, and it's on me."
I mean, technically, at that point, that's all the punches you can pull, because any other move you were trying to make or anything that's going to seem like you're sliding them, and you're there for them. They hired you, or the people that have hired them have hired you, and you still have a bit of professionalism to keep up, and you can't let this asshole that's going to be here for one night like cost you your gig or cost you a client.
Future gigs.
Yeah. It's not trying to like ruin the show, but it's just letting somebody know what's up. Like, you're not going to like go out of your way to. What are you talking, Corey?
You're talking on the side of the mic.
Emma?
Yeah.
I'm talking the top, the
there
tip.
You go. There you go.
The tip.
Get that tip up close to your mouth.
I'm scared, guys.
Like it's like this, but you got to pat it away. Just pat it. It's like that.
All right. Is that better?
It's better.
All right.
I'm sorry, man. I just want people to hear you.
All right. What?
Production value, motherfucker. What are we talking about here?
I mean, hey, this is one of like the most used mics ever, though. I mean,
it looks like shit. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is the classic. It's
a
classic. We've handled millions of them. Actually, I wish that's the one thing. That's the first thing in this podcast I'm going to replace is definitely these microphones.
Yeah.
These are stage mics, everybody, if you're wondering why they sound the way they do.
Nick's mic looks like it's been dropped a couple dozen times.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to get into one of my all-time favorite things, too, is there's a level at which there's professionalism, right? And we're all trying to be professional. We're all trying to do our job. But sometimes it just does not work out. And a lot of times it's with local bands. And I think this is where this information is going to help, because now I want to get into how important production is versus how important your music is versus how important listening to the people around you is. So one of my all-time favorite stories, Nick threw this concert way the fuck out in Nashville, Arkansas. Okay.
River Valley Heat Wave.
River Valley Heat Wave. It was fun for us. It was terrible for him. We had a blast, but this was like local band after local band after local band, and I wanted to just like hit this home with the local dudes out there. There was a sound guy, and he was working unreal hard. All of us were. We went, we helped set up, and I played that day, and we still helped set up everything. We had a crew of, maybe 8 people doing everything?
Yeah.
I just burped, I'm sorry. So we're out there working. We get everything set up, everything's going. And I think the third band of the day, Jesse's out there, dude, it's in the middle of the fucking day. It's hot as shit. And this is what I'm talking about, respect. This is what I want to get into with the local act stuff. This band, he, in the middle of a song, and they're not even done yet, and he throws the microphone down, and it's not his, and it's Jesse's. And these are $100 a piece, you know? These microphones cost $100. And Jesse, from the soundboard, you hear him, "You motherfucker!" And he just comes literally sprinting around the world, the console world, comes up the side of the stage, grabs the shit from a dude. "Get your fucking shitty ass band off my motherfucking stage." Middle of their set. You need to go back to the fucking garage and practice anyway. You suck, in front of 100 at least people at this point. I know it's midday.
There was definitely 100 people. The attendance for that show was shit, but there was 27 bands, so I guarantee there was 100 people.
There was at least 100 watching this happen in real time, and it was like, yeah, you done fucked up, hey, Ron. Like, oh my God. But that's what I want to get into, man. A lot of these bands come in, and I used to make this fucking mistakes too, man, and that's why I'm saying, like, if you're in a local band, just go work a show. Ask. Just do it for free. You really should have the experience. Go, like, if you're here in Arkansas, man, we have the Metroplex, we have Vino's, we have Rev Room, we have MP Productions. They always looking for fucking warehouse free help. Yeah, always. You can literally walk in there. You could walk in there and literally be like, "Hey, I want to help push cases," and just do that. They will do it. We have there's even, you know, we've all worked for at one point in time, Sound Logic.
Yeah, Sound Logic.
You can go there and just literally just be like, "Hey, I want to offer my services. I just kind of want to see what it's like." I really do think it's of the utmost importance. You really should see what the other side of that concert looks like, because even if you're just going to Vino's, man, you know, the lights are already hung. This PA's been there for fucking 50 goddamn years. Nothing has changed, but there is still a production value in Vino's. There's a guy at the door. There's a bartender. There's a sound man. There's, you know, you have to show up at fucking 3 hours prior, and the bands have to put their shit in the back hall. There's still a production that goes on.
Yeah, I mean, any medium of fucking entertainment, like there is a level of production that went into that.
Right, and I will tell you this: the biggest fucking mistake you can make as a local band is thinking anyone at any venue owes you anything.
Yeah, no one's waiting on you. This is your opportunity to like advance in the scheme of things. And so have your shit ready to go. Don't be a problem. And, I mean, almost be a ghost and just be humble.
Like, and I cannot stress this part enough. When a band shows up, your sound guy, your door guy, a lot of these guys have been at these places for years and sometimes decades. They're a family. They've been around a lot longer than your band has.
Yeah.
And they don't have to give a fuck.
You're there for the night.
You can have a great night by being polite and saying thank you and please and all that kind of good stuff. You know, shit goes a long way, man. It really does. When a guy's there, you know, he ain't making a whole lot of money, and if your band doesn't pull in people, he's making zero money. He just gave you a free fucking night.
Yep.
And I just, you know, I don't think people really get how important that shit is in production life, because, you know, we just played with a band, dude. we were the headlining act, and we did not go on until we were supposed to finish because of the second band literally took 30 minutes to set up, and they took over 15 minutes to break their shit down and get it off stage. I have never seen the sound guy I've never seen this guy who was doing sound, I'm not going to name names, but he literally said, you guys have to hurry the fuck up. I've never seen it, and I've worked hundreds of shows with him. And I was like, damn. I want to say this. If you're a band and you're working with a production team, be a sound guy or even a tour manager for a bigger band, a lot of times it's like the main dude. He's running the show.
Yeah.
You should, and we do this in my practice. It sounds lame as fuck, but it works, dude. You should get it to where it takes you no longer than 5 minutes.
I mean,
you should be able to set your gear up, and you should be able to tear it down in 10 minutes total.
Yeah, precisely. Like, don't start fucking packing up on stage. You do that shit in the alley or do that shit on the sidewalk. Typically, there's security at any of these clubs, and if you ask them to help or watch your gear, they will. Get it off the stage.
The exception, like, you don't have to worry about that if you're a one piece, because if you have at least 2 members in your band, guess what? You switch off. You go get your shit off the stage. Don't start taking your cymbals off while you're still sitting on the throne, man. No, you take that shit off outside.
You want to piss a sound guy
off?
Yeah,
if you're not sharing a kit, that shit rolls.
If you want to piss a sound guy off, go ahead and take one cymbal off one stand while it's still on stage.
Yeah,
dude. Literally, the best way I think. And asking for help is another great one. Hey guys, do you guys mind just helping us get the shit off stage real quick? Just get it off. It doesn't matter how it gets off because you can pack it off. You can pack it down off the stage. It doesn't matter where it goes. Just get it there. Yeah. Just so long as it's not on the stage. I think that's a huge one. Nick, do you have any like pointers for like the local acts? And then I want to get into different kinds of production and being a smaller band. Do you have any pointers, like some things you've seen that just like make your skin crawl? And then we'll go to you two about the same question.
All right.
I mean, just try to keep a small footprint and have all your shit ready to go. I mean, so that way it's going to be easier if you have a problem, if everything's managed within your rig or your head and your cab. If it's all managed, it's going to be easier to find the problem. But if you got spaghetti and shit just all tangled and mangled, it's going to be hard to move in and hard to move out quickly.
Right.
You're there to perform. Like, hanging out with your friends is cool, but you have time after your set to actually. I mean, like, it's just mainly just being attentive while you're in the venue and you're actually playing that night. Like,
right.
Be attentive. When it's your turn, like, you see the band start getting their shit off stage, like, go up there, offer help. Because
always,
you want your stuff
always.
up quicker too.
Yes,
and it just makes the night go so much smoother.
If you're not busy and a band's loading in, help them. If you're not busy and a band's loading out, help them. If you're in another band,
yeah,
it's the nicest thing you can do, and that shit goes a long fucking way. And I think the most important thing before we get to the next topic is just have a game plan. Man, just have a rhythm. Just have a set of motions that's so familiar to you that you go, okay, here's my exit. And asking the sound guy is a 100% acceptable thing to do. Hey, man, when we're done, where does our gear need to go? And if wherever he points to, you say, got it, man. And you tell all your guys, and he says, guys, when this show's over, we're going right here. So all hands on deck. Let's get this gear. Let's get it the fuck off this stage.
I think most like 2/3 of the bands I've worked with them that are local and stuff that they did ask. Of like where you want to set up, or they just kind of, you could see that they picked up where stuff needs to go.
Right.
But I mean,
and I've with Corey just saying that I've one more thing to add to that. If you're playing a huge festival and the sound guy comes to you and like you're playing on the house bass rig and it's on the opposite side of the stage that you're used to playing with, but it's gonna save like all the time in the world, just please, if you can, just make it work. Play on that side of the stage for this set, because you don't understand how much is going to go into having to move all of that shit to the spot where you want it and then to the spot where the actual person paying our bills is going to want it for his set.
Right, 100%. So when it comes to bigger shows, because if you play enough, you're going to get a bigger show. Man, I played with Atreyu, Under Oath. I've played with all these great bands. You know, you're going to get the bigger shows eventually. Be adaptive, because here's what the thing, you're used to like your local gig, but when you play with these bigger bands, literally nothing you have to say means a fuck. They don't give two shits about you. You're there. You're lucky. You're there. You're there for the exposure. You're playing in front of a couple thousand people. And I didn't actually get to play the Atreyu show. I just remembered that. But I have played with some unreal fucking huge talent.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
That's a nice list.
It is a very nice list. But be adaptive is definitely it. Because, man, if somebody comes to me, this actually happened when I played with Under Oath. Hey, guys, we're running behind. Can we share a drum kit? And me and the other drummer talked, and I was like, man, if we can use mine, that'd be great. He was like, well, can we use this of mine? And I was like, oh, of course. And we just made it work. And, like, so the drum set stayed the same, and then I had to play, like, one extra. Ooh, them burps coming in hot today. I had to play, like, one extra thing. But it was, you know, I knew, but also working production, that's what taught me, yeah, okay, be adaptive, because, you know, the old me would have been like, fuck no, I'm not using one drum set for both shows. You're crazy.
I have to use my drum set. Yeah.
Right. Well,
that's the biggest footprint on the stage is that kit, and having to move all of those mics. A lot of people they're using clip-ons.
Up to 6 usually.
Yeah, and then you got to get that just precise, or that cat's not going to have that good a show.
Right. So I want to get into the next part, which is actually kind of fun, which I know it's something that we've all done. And Nick, me and you actually had or kind of still do, a business idea is, you know, production in big bands is cool, man. It's half the show. So the performance is half and the production is the other half.
Yeah.
You know, and the production can range anywhere from, I've seen the Chariot play a song when the only light in the whole room that was on was a work lamp. And he was just swinging it around his head, and it was effective. But I've seen shows where we've worked, and I've had LED boards that are unreal massive, and they're, you know, there's $1 million worth of shit going on in this room, and it still is effective. You know what I'm saying? So effectiveness is all about usefulness and how your ability to use the things around you to make it work in a cohesive manner. So, like, what I want to get into is, like, I really hate when other bands shit on other bands for having, like, some production. Yeah, maybe they had to go to Home Depot and buy it. Yeah, maybe they had to, like...
Hey, dude. Hey, Gavin DeGraw liked that shit.
Hey, listen, we literally... I mean, I'm just saying. But, you know, there are two sides to this table where people are like, oh, that's fucking stupid. Or I'm on the fence where, dude, do what you love, but make it reasonable. Like, I'm in a band. We have a light show. We can literally set that light show up and be ready to go in 10 minutes. We're a 10-minute band, and we're 5 minutes off. We're a 10-minute setup. We're 5 minutes off. We have an entire light rig.
I mean, DIY, man. If you're gonna do it though, like, put the time and energy into it, because it's gonna go so long for you.
Right.
Like, say you make your own light rig. It's like how yours is. You just have those. The boxes with the lights, right?
No,
that's the old rig.
That's the old
that
rig,
was the old rig. Yeah.
Now we have
it's
those.
actually in my garage.
Fuck yeah.
Now we have those. Now we have those bar lights. They're LED paper, filament paper.
Yeah.
They're not even bulbs, man.
You can link them. The power footprint's low. It's optimal for a throw and go.
Yeah, and I mean the effect of it though, man. It's
dude. People have asked me to rent it. People are. Every show we play, I tell at least 2 people where I got them from.
Yeah.
Like, it is very effective, and it is the other half. Okay, so My Hands to War and Lame Johnny, we both use the same lights, but in different ways. But man, adding just anything, it helps. It adds a layer of excitement, and you know, yeah, we're super DIY, and yes, we don't have a lighting guy all the time. Like this show coming up, I'm just gonna go ahead and plug the show. We're having a massive Halloween show. It's going to be October 19th at Vino's. It's $7. We're in conjunction with Nick, who is basically our fucking 5th member or 6th member. Like, we actually have you on our page as a member of the band because he does do so much. Like, and when it comes to shows like this, it's like, this is where Nick's time to shine right here. Like, dude, our 10-year anniversary show it ain't shit without you being there, doing your...
I really enjoyed myself. It meant a lot to me, and that week it was real heavy, and I think we all pulled it together, and it went fucking great.
I think so too, man. I was talking in the last podcast about how we were just kind of autopilot about it. Like, it just kind of went and went and went, and then all of a sudden it was over, and we looked back and we reflected and go, dude, holy fuck, we did it. Like, we pulled that shit off. And when I say pull it off, I mean fucking pull it off. The videos, the photos, they're fantastic. Like, everything about that night was just as epic as we wanted it to be. And I really think if we can pull off those drawings I showed you, plus the ideas you had that we're going to talk about later, dude, it's endless.
Yeah.
We're going to put a light show in Vino's that might not have been in Vino's in 20 years. It's going to be stupid.
I'm excited.
I'm incredibly excited. So I just wanted to plug that real quick. If you're into production and you're into music and you're into great bands, man, Couch Jackets is playing, and they're I think they might be the best local band we've got. They're incredibly fucking talented musicians, and they give it their all, dude, always. And they're fun as fuck to watch. Have you seen them?
Yeah.
They're like psychedelic rock.
Were they at y'all's last show? The Lame Johnny?
No, they were at that My Hands to War 10-year reunion show.
Okay, I went to that one. That Rev?
That was just the two of us? Yeah, that was Couch Jackets.
Yeah, I think that's when I somehow ripped my rotator cuff.
It is, actually, yes.
Was that throwing that Dutch rudder out in the bathroom?
Sean was there, so it was a possibility.
Oh, shit. But me and Nick have always had this idea to actually like start a small business, very small business, and make local bands or smaller bands light shows and bigger bands, which we've actually had people see our work and our inventiveness and ask us, hey, can you make us this? And then we just never fucking did it because we're dumb. Like,
well, man, life gets in the way sometimes, and money's a big deal too. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, dude, our light show right now, as simple as it is, dude, it's like a $400 light show, and $400 is like, oh, it's $400. That's a lot of fucking money when you're talking about everything fucking else.
And I think the rig before that was probably about the same cost or a little bit cheaper, but it was unwieldy. It's hard to carry without like tearing it up. But I mean, for some 60-watt lamps and some MDF like fence posts.
Dude, are you talking about the towers?
Yeah, hooked to some T6 dimmers.
It was T6 dimmer packs. It was boxes made out of actual fucking fence posts with eight different sets of 60-watt single barrel Edison housings. Like, literally.
Yeah.
Fucking fence posts is what we made these boxes out of. It was Todd. Todd made the boxes and rigged them up. And then you brought in the T6 controllers, and we made a whole fucking light show out of basically, nothing. It's like a fucking light lasagna.
And then the 10-year show where we used them.
That was the last time we used them.
Going into it, I didn't even like think about it. But I had them on the T6, and during that show, I'm working the dog shit out of them on this little hedgehog lighting console, and I started realizing that my 60 watts weren't dimmable; they were non-dims. So three quarter of the way through the show, and the towers are 50%. I don't know what hink-up happened in that note, but I mean, no one's ever gonna notice that. No one's ever gonna come talk to me and say, "Hey, that one show you did, those were non-dim, and I know they broke." And the only reason that's the case is you always keep moving. You just got to push forward.
Well, that was a fast-paced show.
Yeah,
and not to mention we blew up the strobe light.
Yeah, we did blow up strobe light.
We had a $300 fucking strobe light, and that motherfucker's still toast.
My mama used to say, "This is why we can't have shit," and it's because I fucking break things. And when you're moving so fast, sometimes you're gonna break some things. It's gonna happen.
I mean, I did have some fun though when we made the DF50, the 49.5. DF50 is like when you want a haze for your venue, or like to have so you can see like the
Are you talking about the 10-year reunion show? The hazer?
No.
Oh.
This is something that like me and
No,
Nick
I
did at the shop.
I had the DF50 at the 10-year show.
Okay, so but we took a smoke machine and we put DF fluid in it, which you're not supposed to because it's thicker.
Oh my god! Yes.
Holy shit! Like when we were still at Sound Logic, we were in like this little fucking workshop area.
Kwanzaa hut.
Yeah. And it fucking, you look outside and it was an orange tint. Like the smoke was so fucking dense. It broke it after that. We smoked out a shed, and then never worked again. Not
That's
right.
insane, dude.
It was fucking hilarious though at the time because I read the fire department come by in a minute.
But I think that's hilarious. Getting back to like the point of the local band, I love the tangents we go on. I'm just not even going to start calling them tangents. We get so far off fucking topic on every single one. I don't know that we're ever going to be able to not do this.
No.
So I really think it is important. Even if you have no production, hey, that's cool too, man. I've seen bands where they just go up and play fucking 68. There's no light show. There's no production. They're just like, leave the lights on. We're just going to play.
But a 68 show, man, like they don't need any kind of like visual production because like the way
because they are the visual production.
Yes, they are. I mean, like
and the show is structured
intense.
as such.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't disagree, but his other band, The Chariot, was so fucking intense, but they always had production, and it always made it even crazier.
Oh, yeah.
But they were very smart with it, and I think that's really the key. If you're going to add lights, and if you don't want lights, that's cool, too. Nobody's saying, like, I have to have a production. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying for some band, for my bands, it works because we're structured to have a production. But I also think that we do it very smart. Like, if it wasn't my boy Nick, it would definitely be somebody else, and I would definitely be asking questions. Like, dude, mine and Nick's last 20 texts have all been, I have this idea. Okay, what if we do this? What if we do that? And it's all in preparation for this show, just to like kind of put it into terms into how much work is actually going into this thing. Dude, I literally sat down. I have sketches. I'm texting him photos of like what I think we should do, ideas that the guys had when I was talking to them because I'm kind of like the middleman. And like, I'm bouncing all to Nick, and Nick's like, "Oh, dude, this is great. Well, let's like." Sometimes Nick will be like, "Hey, what if we didn't do this, but we did this instead?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "Well," and then he'll explain it to me because there's a lot of shit about lighting I'm still learning. So like anybody out there, if you know a lighting guy or if you see one at a show, dude, and he's not like actually working, dude, go talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Like. If you saw some kid in a local band approached you and asked you about your stuff, wouldn't you be stoked to like be like, "Oh, fuck yeah, dude, let me lay some knowledge down on you"?
Oh man, for sure, anytime. I'm just to find someone that is so like thrilled about the same things I am. I mean, like especially someone young coming into the game. Like any of my friends that have gotten the production business here in the city, I've just told them, I'm like, look. I worked for this company and this company, never worked with those cats, this, that, the other. But anytime anyone wants to give you a chance, get in there, learn, and keep growing, keep pushing forward. And no matter what anyone says about anyone, if someone's giving you an opportunity to learn how to do this trade, take it. Because that's not just given out. I mean, it's like J-Bass said earlier, it's a who you know and trying to get your toe in the door because you don't see an ad for shit like this in the paper. You don't see an ad for this like on the internet. Like it's all sewed up and very, very tight.
Yeah, I mean, because with the who you know part, man, my friend Tyler knew Seth Hill that used to do security at the Village.
I miss Seth.
Dude. Seth got Tyler on. Well, me and Tyler were friends, and so he was like, "Hey, man, doing this. They're always needing help. Like, hit me up."
Right.
Well, he disappeared. Like Tyler stopped doing it, but I was just like, "Man, this is fucking fun. I like it." Cool ass people to hang out with. I mean, like going from like high school friends to friends you have now, like some of the oldest friends I have right now. So it's pretty awesome in my book.
Oh, do we have a lot of memories, man?
I mean, just the fact that knowing one person like that, and he knew another person, and then became friends with Nick, and then he offered me. He's the one that got me in at Sound Logic. So,
right,
like
that's awesome, dude. See there?
Yeah.
And that's like a good chunk of your whole life.
Yeah. I mean, and plus, like, need help at Rev. Okay, well,
exactly.
I'll fill in, and you meet the fucking GM, and y'all fucking are cool with each other. So it's like it snowballs once it goes.
Oh, 100%.
And you have to want to do it, though.
Right. Well, Nick mentioned that earlier, dude. If you're a go-getter, it definitely snowballs itself.
Yeah.
And those guys, and dude, they pay attention, and the local bands even, like, your promoters, they're part of the production too, and your light guys and your sound guys, man, they all talk. Yeah. And if you got that hustle, if you got that game and you're polite, guess what? They talk to each other. They do, because I've been a part of both of those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on each side of that coin, and it's like, I don't say I have a rare perspective, but I think locally I probably do, where like I'm one, I have seen both sides of those conversations where it's like, you know what, I get both sides of it, but I have been helped by, I used to be the biggest fucking egotistical little like, oh, my band's good because we sold 300 tickets and sold out Vino's one time ever. We're good, man. We're the best. But working those shows and seeing what those bands are like on the other side, it's like, oh, well, you better stop.
Yeah.
And 100%, dude.
I mean, even if you like riding both lines of being like, if you're in a band and doing production, I mean, like, what's up. Like,
you know what's up.
When you do enough shows to the point where you see the bands that were doing arenas, and now they're doing 500 cap rooms, and you're like, well, and you worked with them at the arena level, and like they were assholes then, and like, oh, I guess you. Like,
well,
I'm not surprised,
goes down, man. When you hit arenas,
yes.
the only place to go is down.
Yep.
You can't get bigger than an arena.
Well, Metallica did.
Well, fuck, that's what. Come on, one band ever is not a good example.
I mean,
yeah, they played in front of like 500,000 people in Russia or some shit. Some people say 1 million, but I think Metallica actually claims 500,000.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. It's still a fucking ass ton of people.
That's Woodstock right there.
And no one's ever done it since. It was just them. So whatever. One band in the history of ever doesn't actually count.
Okay.
I'm not Metallica. No one's Metallica.
Little salty there, bro.
Even Metallica's not Metallica anymore. Don't even give me that shit.
Not without the drugs.
Get the fuck out of here. Alcoholica, bro. Yeah. Bring that shit back. I want to ride the lightning, motherfucker.
No, it's once you get clean and relapse and out.
If Lars don't learn how to tune a fucking snare drum, I'll lose my goddamn mind. No, that's a joke because he did. He did. And I think that was... Who's there? Bob Rock? I think that was all him. It doesn't... Why are we talking about Metallica? This is fucking stupid.
I said it once, and then you've been on this tangent of Metallica and how you want their dick in your mouth.
You're so friendly.
I know.
All right, dude, I want to get to a fucking cool point. Anyway, bands out there, talk to people. Go do it. Do it for free. It doesn't fucking matter. At least one person in your band should understand how a concert works when it's not just you.
Yeah.
Because you're a ghost.
Yes.
Until some shit ain't working.
Right.
And then everyone knows right where you are. And they know who you are. But until shit breaks, you're a ghost.
Right. And, that's sad. That's why they're literally called the unsung heroes of the music world, man. They get zero credit, and they did all the work.
Yeah.
They did all the work. They did 50% of the musician's job, and that's to look cool.
I mean, I guess just on my perspective on working shows, and like you can see it happen when the artist on stage is like, this mic ain't hot. And if you're by front of house, you get some looks.
Everyone's turning around. Everyone wants to know
they're looking
you
right
are.
at you. They're like.
Well, what's hilarious
he doesn't know what he's talking about, I promise.
Right. That's what's hilarious, too, is this is a pro tip right here. Let's get into Pro Tips 101. I throw a few out every now and then, and this is a pro fucking tip if I've ever heard one. If you have a cocky musician in your midst, and he is saying that his microphone is not good enough or his monitor mix is not good enough, there's a little tip called the touch. It's called a ghost touch. And what you do is you reach up, you stare them in the face, and you shake your head, yes, 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 and then they will give you the thumbs up, and you did nothing. All you did was touch the knob. And guess what? All the fucking sudden, it's good enough when 30 seconds before it wasn't. Because a lot of times, that ego is in the way.
You gotta play the mind games, bro.
It's literally called a ghost touch. Am I wrong?
You're right.
Ghost touch, ghost fade. Ghost fade's my favorite.
Ghost fade, when you're riding the faders.
Like, you're just like, yeah, and your hand. I mean, your hands over it. They can't see your hands.
I'll do the gorilla mitt. I'll just put my hand on like 9 of them faders, and I'll just go like this. Like, it's good. It's good. But the gain one is the best because they know gain. They're like, oh, that's the top one. So you reach all the way to the top. And people don't understand these boards. They have 50 fucking channels.
Yeah, you're talking about some analog consoles.
Analog consoles, right? That's what we use. That's what I always did monitors on. So here's what's hilarious is
digital just compacts that, and you can scroll through wheels.
You got layers.
But here's what I would do for ghost touching, because J-Bo taught me how to ghost touch. He was like, hey man, just fucking touch the knob and look him in the face and just be like, oh, it's good. So 9 times out of 10, if a sound guy's looking at you like that, like you're a fucking asshole, he's not doing anything.
It's because you're a fucking asshole.
But what's funny is that the act of him doing that is forcing you to actually pay attention to what's going on. And then you hear it and you're like, oh, okay, that is good. Even though you think he's turning it up. It's a mind trick.
Yeah.
So what I would do, dude, I wouldn't even go to their channel. I would just pick one and I would just reach my hand up and just fucking, like, I'll be like, it'll be guitar stage right. I'll be on vocals too. And just touching the little gain knob, and he'll just be like, yeah, that's better. It's funny how well it works. Fucking people's brains up with production is great, man. You burn them up, you ghost touch them. What's another good trick?
When I was on tour with the North Mississippi All-Stars, we had this band out of, I want to say they're from New York, and they're called the London Souls. Really, really nice group of gentlemen. Really awesome to tour with these guys. We used to do this thing called Bag O' Jizz, and we'd do it to the opening acts. We always did it to the opening acts. And so I think we're on the West Coast. I think we're in SoCal or coming out of Phoenix or something. And that's right, fairly close there to the border. So we would get these like frozen, it's like popsicle things in, I guess, New Mexico. And they had a coconut one. And we would always take that out and sit it in the green room or the bus previous, like before sound check or anything. We'd find their green room, and I would take and let that joker melt. And that coconut milk would be so thick that you couldn't see the popsicle stick.
Oh, gross.
And so I would write Bag of Jizz with a Sharpie, and I would take and go in their green room and stick it next to the veggies or whatever they were going to have that day. And then it progressed to I stuck it on his drum tone. So he had to start the set, and I cut one end of the bag just a little bit, so when he picked it up, it opened. Like, there was no way it was not going to open. If he squeezed it, it was going to come out. And these poor boys from New York did not know that they were going to get a hold of some Arkansas and some Mississippi bullshit. But, yeah, you end up trolling people after a while.
In real life.
Your coworkers, all the tour guys, the people at the hotel, truck stop. It ends up becoming a game. And
hey, we did find out that their sausage links at the Marriott
were
the exact shape of a battery.
So I want to get into this, and I want to go to J-Bass first, since I feel like me and Nick are hogging all the talk time here.
It's cool, baby.
What I want to do is I want to go over. You go. It's cool, baby. You go, and then I'll go. Then Nick might go. He's currently watching the game and taking urinations. But I want to get into what's your favorite production you've ever worked. Do you have one in mind? Because I know mine. Mine's pretty goddamn obvious, but do you have one?
I mean, like, festivals are always fun for me, I guess, just because,
But, like, what's, like, top, like, what was your top tier, and kind of, like, talk about, like, even if it was just meeting someone, or if the day was just, like, everything just fucking went the way it was supposed to, like.
Like, one of those days, it was, I used to do running stuff, like being a runner for, like, the big festival gigs, too, and shit, and, like, I got to do I was Shinedown's runner when they came for the Uproar tour.
I was, you did Shinedown, I did Stone Sour. Same show, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I know in the year before that, I was 3 Days Grace, and you were with Avenged Sevenfold.
Avenged Sevenfold, that's when I learned about what a level 5 clinger was, because they used that term.
Yeah.
Right.
But man, I think the Shinedown, because, like, the running
I got robbed on that show. Did you know that?
I did not.
I did. I got robbed at a liquor store.
Oh, shit.
Running for booze.
That's fucking crazy.
That shit was scary as fuck.
I tried to get my girlfriend at the time through, but there's this thing in, like big productions like that. It's called a pussy pass. It really exists.
Yes.
It's a picture of, like, some kind of naked lady in a very, I guess hot.
You're talking about giant productions now.
Yes,
those are in the huge
this is like it's festival
level shit.
Yeah. But those to me are kind of the funnest. Like, when you're not directly on, like, the production side could be cool, but, like, if you don't have to touch gear,
a little less headaches.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's so much less stress. You get to ride around a golf cart a lot.
One of the coolest conversations I ever had was he used to be the guy for Capitol Records, and he was Avenged Sevenfold's manager.
Okay.
So that same show, I got to. He was at the hotel, right? And he was they do things a little different those bigger bands, the manager stays in the hotel. So all I did was take him there and bring him back. And he gave me some of the best fucking advice I've ever had. And I'll save that for another time. But that was probably one of the coolest things to know, like, this fucking guy who is or has been at the top of the fucking food chain.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm asking him stuff, and he's like, that's just nonsense. Like, man, and he literally was like, just be yourself. If you're good, you'll be noticed. He's like, I don't care how crazy your band is. And he was like, just keep doing it until the right person sees it. And yeah, it might not be where I was, but you're going to get somewhere. And I was like, damn, dude. And I'm not going to get on the whole conversation because it was just jaw-dropping. Because we had about 30 minutes. We got stuck in some traffic, and he was super cool, dude. Just started talking to me. But that running shit is fun, man. I ran for Paramore.
Yeah, I mean, it just, and because I mean, you're working most of the day, like you're going to and from the store, but
grocery shopping. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like,
yeah,
you'll be grocery shopping. I've done laundry,
and I mean, a lot of these lists though, like they'll put Gatorade.
Yeah,
but they don't. I mean, Gatorade comes in many flavors, so it's like one of those things. I've always had that weird, awkward feeling when asking a TM or like a PA to be like, okay, well, what kind? Like, because it just says this, and I don't want y'all to be upset with my judgment because I'm getting this out of the way, so y'all can't fucking yell at me.
You
later.
bought pickle Gatorade for everyone? You didn't say, you motherfuckers.
I mean, I've gotten people the exact beer they wanted, but when I get them to they were thinking of another beer.
Yep.
And they're like, well, I don't want this.
Because it's on the list, and now you got to go back.
Oh, no.
You didn't ever go back?
No, I mean, it was like, it was actually, I think, for the Shinedown, I wound up getting like a Coors Light, like a 6-pack free, which I think I wound up giving to the stagehands maybe. I can't remember. Right. Because I was like, man, I don't like beer. Like, y'all want this?
Yeah, it's weird you don't like beer.
I've tried it numerous times.
I get it.
With numerous different people.
It doesn't taste great.
So
it's acquired for sure.
I don't think I should not have to ingest anything that has to be acquired.
Right.
But no, that Shinedown show to me is one of the best memories I've had of it because, like I said, everything was going smoothly. Their catering was fucking off the charts.
Oh,
too.
Their catering was so fucking tight. I was just about to say I ate lunch with their singer.
And they had that really cool fucking hand massage lady that she was also nice to look at. So.
Yep. Well, and she was super friendly.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I ate lunch with her. So
yeah, I was gone most of the time, and I actually got to eat lunch with them and the drummer for Atreyu.
Okay.
And fucking awesome. Like, the drummer for Atreyu came over and sat right in front of me. There was 3 other people in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he comes in front of me and goes, hey, what's up, man? And we just talked, ate lunch, and I was like, this is fucking crazy. And that was when they were in their fucking prime, dude. They were like tip-top fucking, they were on top of the food chain at this point, and I was just like, is this really happening right now? Like,
I just hated that I didn't get a fucking laminate because I do like laminates. They're fun to look at because
I think I got a sticker.
It was wristbands.
Oh, wristbands. That's right.
Yeah, and I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Well, yeah, even just the sticker laminate is great.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's half of a laminate right there anyway.
Right.
I mean, I had my Primus one for the longest time as a bookmark because I mean, like, that show was. No, it was the Les Claypool. My bad. Wasn't a Promise. When we had Les Claypool at the Village.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, because awesome I just kept it in my pocket because I was like, I like this. It looked really fucking cool.
It does look really fucking cool.
But yeah, I would say like that the last Edge Fest actually.
Oh, okay.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, I'm sorry. I don't care.
Right. Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that shit went downhill unreal.
But I mean, I got to hang out with their bassist, which we both had the same last name, so that was pretty cool. It was a talking point for sure.
Whatever helps, man. Oh, your last name's Bass too, huh?
I mean, being able to talk about the music scene, especially in Arkansas, because it can be weird and a fickle ass bitch.
Yeah, and a lot of bands don't really understand what it's like here, and you have to explain. It's like, man, our population is. Our whole state's less than the population of just Dallas.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a lot to get a lot of people somewhere, man.
I mean, you can. And I've always told people, like, you can have the same show a week from now, and it's going to sell out.
Exactly. But because it was this week and it rained yesterday, there's only half the crowd. Well,
about to get turned up now.
oh shit, we got them Cokes, colas.
Well,
Got them double fisted Paps too. Shit, yeah, Nick is the man. But anyway, I want to. So I know what my favorite one is, and it involves old Blackonitis.
old Jung. Oh no, Reptar.
Reptar, man.
I was about to say a non-PC term.
Yeah, don't do it.
The people would have gotten.
I like that you censored yourself. It's
You better
great.
be careful with that shit, boy.
But
Fucking
Reptar, because
look, Tommy Skinner passed away, man. We're watching TV and football guy passed away.
damn.
Rest in peace, Tommy Skinner.
I think he's baseball, but it's okay.
It's okay. I don't know sports, but his name
Sports
was on the
ball,
screen.
baby.
Go Team 1. Yeah.
Yeah, go Team 2 as well.
But-
Actually, you know who I like to root for? The team that's beating the team that my friend
Well,
likes.
the Panthers are kind of.
Yeah, right now America's team is getting that ass.
beat. Yes, they are.
So here's one of my favorite
Grabbing them
produ-
ankles.
All right.
Sorry.
Bitch.
Sorry, Jerry Jones.
All right, so one of my favorite productions was, I mean, it's safe to say it was an Under Oath show, but it was a very unusual Under Oath show because it wasn't here. Me, Mr. Sandifer, Blackonitis, my wife, and a host of other folks, we all drove up to Fayetteville. And I think it was George's. Is that the place with the outdoor?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were at George's Majestic Lounge, and they have this stage that's 5 fucking feet tall. And there's no stairs. Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but Under Oath has a lot of big fucking gear. Their bass cabinets, everything's in a case. All these big bands, most people, everything's in a case. So we're hoisting this shit up and blah, blah, blah. And we're having a good time, man. Everyone's like just relaxed. No one is in a bad mood. Everyone's just doing what they're supposed to. We're having like, the Chariot was there too. So that was a fucking, that was an extra good night.
Fresh.
So we're getting the Chariot and the Under Oath, and it's like, man, this night's going to be ridiculous. So the opening act, I don't even really know who the fuck was the opening act, but we set up everything, and then we just relaxed. I went and walked to this, like, y'all might know what it is. They do grilled cheeses. It's like down the road to the fucking left of that George's place. You know that place? No?
I know like of George's, and like I did
Dude,
when we did
great.
Wakarusa, I met the guy that was he was assistant manager at the time there, and that's all about I know
I
about
think the
it.
only shitty thing about George's is them built-in tables outside. They are in the motherfucking way, like unreal.
Most.
But people were able to stand on them. Well, anyway, the night went off without a hitch. We took everything up there in like 2 trailers, like my trailer and a couple of trucks. Like we haggard ass did this production. That's probably why it was fun too, because it was like super relaxed, very unprofessional. We get there, we set everything up in like, I think 2 hours we were done. And then, because, you know, Under Oath, they have their own light show, and those guys back then were still doing a lot of their own work. You know, they would just be like, we'll help, you know, whatever. And get everything done. The show goes off without a hitch. I mean, it was an amazing show. The first 20 seconds, they had trees. They have trees out there in their courtyard, and one of the Chariot guitar players is up in the fucking tree.
Well, I mean, they shouldn't have put the tree there if they didn't want him in there,
Right. Well, he almost moved it for him, but he was up in the tree first 20 seconds of a song. It was just like, this is the kind of night we're going to get. And they played, and then we packed everything down, still went off without a hitch. Like, even getting everything off the stage was like, oh, this is easy as a motherfucker, dude. Everything's going so good. And then we just drove home. That's when it got scary, though, because we're driving home, trailer's all wobbly, and because we packed it wrong, and I'm driving like 50. I can only go 50.
You fuck up that trailer pack, man. You can.
Oh, we did.
You can have some bad days.
But here's the deal: is there's no stopping at this point. It's 2 a.m.
No,
and we got to drive from Fayetteville, which is 3 hours away.
The moment you lose your momentum, like you're fucking done. Somebody else better be driving.
I'd have been sleeping on the side of the highway if I stopped.
Shit, I've had to pull over. There was a time we were coming back from Tennessee. We had to get to this fucking gig. It's like Toad Suck something or whatever. And I looked over and was like, "Man, you see that snake on the road, brother?" And he was like, "Snake?" And that's when I knew, like, we're done, bro. We're done. So I pulled over at a rest stop and slept for about 3 hours. And then we got up and got back on it and kept going. As soon as we got on the other side of the storm is when we stopped. And it's brutal, man. That black dog will get you.
So
I mean, I made Nick drive a couple times when I was just like, I've swerved twice. Like, I can't do this, man. My eyelids are barely hanging open. Like, it's dangerous for me to drive. Can you do this, please?
Brother, I have seen shit in the road, and I'll be like,
Oh,
did you guys see that? And they'll be like, the fuck with you, Nick? Honestly, a few times. Like, dude, the raccoons keep running in front of me, and you'll just be laughing like, what raccoons? Because I like to drive, man. I don't trust many
sleep
people.
deprivation, man, and having to drive, that's part of the fucking music and
it's
the production side.
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
It's very well in it, unless you're hitting the arena level, which you have like a fleet of people coming in almost.
You got drivers at that point. Yes. You got drivers. It's not techs driving gear.
Yeah.
So, Nick, I want to get into it, dude. What's your favorite? And we're gonna get to the worst because I know my worst is Nick's probably worst. What's one of your favorite all-time gigs? Production.
Man, to be honest with you, I would probably have to say it's probably when I was with the All-Stars. Like, I got a lot of other like memories with like the crew and all the boys and everything. Like,
no.
That show's awesome. But as far as like a personal like awesome, we were playing at this place called the Belly Up in Solana Beach, California, and we roll in. And this is on a touring deal, so we have stage hands. Everything's by contract. If anything is messed up, we're getting paid. Somebody is paying for that mistake on this level of touring. And so we roll into this like back alleyway. It's a fucking pain in the ass to park the fucking bus and 20-foot trailer. And you finally get in. We get in there. I go in the green room, and I see this guitar that belongs to this fucking blues artist that I'm nuts about. His name's C6 Steve, and this dude's like a fucking train hopper. Like, he's got an album. It's called it's like I started with nothing and I still got something left. And this dude is by far like one of my all-time like blues fucking idols, and I'm just nuts about it. But I see this guitar. I go and I look in the fridge. I get a water or something, and there's a bottle of Thunderbird in there. Well, that's what fucking C6 Steve fucking drinks. And so at this moment, I'm like Will Ferrell from like Elf when he knows Santa is coming. Oh my
God, Santa!
So I go up to my tour manager. This is the second time on this tour something like this has happened, but I'm on the other shoe of it in Solana Beach. And I go up to my tour manager and I'm like, hey man, fucking C6 Steve is coming. And he's like, what? I'm like, dude, C6 Steve, like for real. I was like, man, who the fuck is C6 Steve, man? Like, I ain't never heard that fucking name before in my life. I'm like, you're gonna see later. So, lo and behold, like I'd looked ahead on our tour, because that's what you do when you're on the road. You get maybe 2 days off in a 2-month run, or 3 days off, or 4 days off in a 2-month run. And so I look at the shows coming around, and C6 Steve was supposed to play the Belly Up 2 days after we were. And then he shows up with my guitar player at the time, Luther Dickinson, in the fucking car, and they play the show together. And the whole time I'm in awe, and I'm trying not to fanboy too fucking hard.
I get it, man. It's hard.
But the pennies go wet.
What's up? Hey, man, sometimes meeting your idols is a good thing. They say don't, which honestly I agree with. And we can get into some of that. Like one of the worst bands I've ever had to fucking work for was As I Lay Dying.
Yeah.
I literally went home and threw every single CD I owned of theirs in the garbage. And I had one of those flags. Remember those flags were real popular?
Yeah.
I ripped it off my ceiling right in the garbage.
Yeah, Timbaland bassist. What
a fucking
douche. A fucking tool,
Even
man.
before he tried to murder his fucking wife like a dick fart.
Well, now he's out of prison, Corey. You might be
and they're back together. Fuck them, dude. They
better
suck.
watch out, dude.
Here's the deal. They suck.
He's going to go back because of you, Corey.
I don't give a
I'll
fuck.
show
fuck
him.
He should fuck. Never mind. I'm not even going to say it.
Man, he's trying to sue the Pokey bro for him getting fucking steroid tits, man. Like, come on, man. Like,
well, let's not even get into this, because that guy, just fuck that. It's from personal experience. I've worked with that guy. He literally physically threw a fucking monitor at a human. I watched that with my own two eyes. As a fan, I watched this guy take a fucking monitor, pick it up, throw it.
At one of our friends.
At one of our friends, and expect no repercussions. Like,
I mean, this was a monitor from like the fucking like what? 80s?
MP.
Yeah, the 80s,
MP
yeah.
built those cabinets. That was that old Delta rig and that monitor set with those Titan
Right.
side fills. Those were fucking heavy.
Heavy as fuck. That
Yeah.
one monitor weighed every bit of 80 pounds.
I mean, he would have killed.
Oh,
if he
dude, it
hit
would have crushed him, dude. It would have
Yeah.
crushed him. It would have broke bones. It probably wouldn't have killed him, but it would have hurt him for sure. He would have went to the hospital with injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, being thrown off that stage down those steel steps, the only thing that happened to it is it was scuffed. It was not broken
Well,
or
luckily
anything.
it didn't make it to the intended target, which was completely fucked up. And we're just sitting there like, do we turn the fucking power off? What the fuck do we do? Like, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know how to act or what to think. And like, it's like, dude, fuck that guy forever. But anyway.
Well, your night's fucked after that anyway.
I was just
Right.
wondering how many times we were going to hit that roided fuck before he stopped moving. I mean, it was to that point. It was like, all right, a couple of us are probably going to get our ass beat tonight, but he's definitely getting fucked up.
I'm
He's getting fucked up for sure.
You instantly play the trump card of Seth.
I'm really surprised we
Go.
didn't. Yeah. Well, I'm really surprised we didn't, man, because everyone watching was just in awe.
Yeah.
Even the crowd was like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, that's,
Dude, no, here's the deal. Most people don't understand. He did this mid-set. This wasn't a sound check. There was 1,000 people in the building. And for those of you thinking, 1,000's not much, the cap was 700.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was so fucking packed, unreal. And he does this in front of everyone. Like, what the fuck? That's another thing, man, working production will get you. It'll get you where you're like, man, I thought this guy was cool. You're actually a fucking piece of shit.
Well, I mean, that's double-edged sword of meeting your idols, because some of them are really fucking cool, and they're cooler
Oh,
than you
dude.
could have expected.
Hey, I partied with Green Day.
I mean,
They're awesome as fuck.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Those
two
guys,
Arkansas boys playing in Green Day right now.
dude, those guys know how to fucking party. Like, unreal.
but then you'll get the artists that you love their music, they sound so good,
Yeah.
and they will not talk directly to you.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit. That's him.
Yeah.
Like, they'll talk, like, I don't like in this moment, but,
Well, and
like,
then you'll get proven wrong.
yeah.
Like,
Well-
mine was, who's the, fuck, I can't even think of his name. Chiodos.
Yeah.
I thought that whole band, I was like, just fuck this whole band. I just, like, dude, this is going to be a terrible night. And even the singer I had, like, a little confrontation with because he tried to come in a side door. And I was like, I don't know who the fuck you are, dude. Like, don't give me shit for doing my job. Like, you don't have a
Yeah.
laminate. What the fuck am I supposed to say? I don't know who the fuck you are. But their guitar player, dude, was fucking awesome as fuck. I talked to that guy for like 3 hours, dude, when we were just like in downtime, you know? Anyway, but that's like, there are a lot of pros and cons to this industry, man.
Yeah.
But meeting your idols is very, very sketchy. Because a lot of times shit will go south. But that's dope that you got to fucking meet that guy, man, and he meant that
Dude.
much to you.
Fucking awesome, man. Like, it's crazy.
It's one of the good surprises in life.
I mean, that
of like you being able to see them perform, and like they're one of your favorite blues players, and you actually get to see them fucking on stage doing their fucking thing.
Did you get to talk to him?
man, I got to talk to him for a little bit.
That's still cool, though.
And we were loading out. Like, he was still hanging out. Like, it was fucking something else.
I fucking love nights like that, dude.
That's where it all makes perfect sense. That's the reason you fucking bleed for this. That's the reason that you fucking go on 2 hours of sleep and just keep pushing.
Right.
I mean,
A lot of that stuff, it adds up. But here's the parts that make you want to quit and pull your hair out. I want to go to worst production nightmare that you can. I know a lot of times we try to black that shit out of our memory, but like J-Bass, we'll start with you again. I want the worst shit you can think of.
I had a really good time at it, but like I'd say like Walkeroosa was fucking hell.
Walkeroosa?
Yeah.
Nick's losing it.
I
Is
mean,
that
great-
what
I'm just thinking about Rich Homie Quan.
oh wait,
That's all I can think about right now.
I
Is Rich
did, wait,
Homie
no,
Quan.
I'm gonna redact my previous statement.
Okay.
And no, like the one, it's one of the few times like,
Losing it. It's making me laugh. I'm sorry.
well, Nick was supposed to be there. He was supposed to have this story, not me. But yeah, Rich Homie Quan, man, at the fucking Metroplex.
I dodged
my
a
God.
bullet
They-
that night. I
They
dodged a
fucked
bullet.
up before anybody even got in the room because they didn't do the barricade right.
Oh no.
They had bicycle racks in front of the stage and the fucking steel barricade running up the side.
The VIP was inside the crash barricade.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, the VIP.
And their bottle service, they didn't say they were serving half gallons, but you can kind of distinctly see what a fucking like Kettle One or fucking Grey Goose have, like a fucking handle that shit.
It looked like they were giving out fucking trophies that night. Like I was there leading into the gig. Like J-Bass said, I was supposed to tell this story, but there was another blues artist playing in town at Whitewater, Patrick Sweeney, also one of my favorite fucking blues artists. So me and J-Bass built the gig together.
Yeah.
And got everything set up. And then I was like, hey man, do you want to cover this for me? There's a show I want to go see. Like, I mean, I'll get you paid on tonight, and I'll even throw you a few more bucks or some weed or something.
So
like
you filled in for him.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, but like to Nick's credit, though, I mean, like for the most part, it was a pretty easy gig.
Right.
I almost got in a fight with Rich Homie Kwan's clique.
Of course you did.
Well, no, he was trying to like. We were situated side stage, so. Okay. And there was no stairs, but people were trying to come through our section thinking there's stairs. Like, we'll climb on these cases. They're like, well, first off, you're fucking not going to climb on
you told me about that.
Yes.
They were climbing on the fucking cases and shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, his clique was like, I'm getting on stage. I'm going to climb up right here. I'm like, well, no, you're not, man. Just go around to the other side.
There's a staircase.
There's stairs.
Shitty motherfucker.
And I had one of those fucking, like, half-inch shackles.
Oh, my God.
In my hand. And I'm just like, I'm going to clock this dude, and I'm going to walk the fuck out.
Right. I'm going to leave.
That's the...
Because night's over.
I mean, Rich Homie Kwan, he's a rapper.
Obviously.
We were like the one of like 3 or 4 white people in there. And that was cool. I didn't care. Like, I liked a song or two of Rich Homie Kwan, but
Did
not
you just
after
make
that.
this about race?
No, I was trying to make it not
How
about
dare
race.
you?
How dare you say white?
Okay, well, I was white. Are you white shaming me now?
I am.
You bastard. No, but the real fun of the night got started off when somebody decided to throw one of those half-gallon bottles. Like
what?
I saw it. Well, my friend saw it. He said he lost it in the rafters of Clear Channel because they chunked it. They lobbed it, and it sounded like a little 22 went off, like straight up had like, and people panicked.
Oh shit!
And we almost got our key to one of our lighting consoles. It was broke off into the console.
Oh,
but I think Nick actually got it out with like some pair of needle nose.
The USB key?
No, it's like
they locked the whole console.
It's like a plastic type of key. It's like a proprietary type weird little thing that takes it from program to run.
Right. Sorry. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I should have explained that a little better. My bad.
Well, because there's two. There's two.
Well,
keys.
I mean,
right.
Like once that pandemonium started breaking out, man, and they didn't put stairs on our side, because if they'd have put stairs on our side and like
there wasn't 2 staircases.
No, there was one.
Oh my god!
No, we got shorted.
DJ Blue, I think, broke the couch before the show even started. Like he just like he sat down on it hard, and it just fucking that back leg was just pop.
Because they hit
the amount of furniture they rented was stupid.
Well, yeah, that's always, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
almost every rap show.
Had some fat guy fall off stage when people started panicking. Like, I was just like, J-Bo, like, I'm parked in the back. Like, because, man, people started, it was like a stampede. Like, we were seeing the curtain fucking rush past as all the bodies moved past it. And then somebody was actually pulling out a gun in the fucking parking lot. They broke like 3 of the doors that night too. Like one was like it'd been all the way back, and the windows were busted out of a couple of them too. So it fucking went wild really quick.
I see why you're laughing now. You avoided quite the headache.
I did see a bitch eat shit though hard because I was like, "There's no stairs. There's no stairs over here."
She just ran right off the edge of the stage.
Our lighting cases. I mean, we had them positioned by the stage because that's out of the way.
Yes.
Well, she stood on them, and she's like in 5-inch stiletto heels.
Oh no!
And like crumples to the ground.
Go one way, the case goes the other way.
I saw her ankles pop, and then she just fucking face plants, but pops right back up. Like nothing.
She's scared. Adrenaline's wrong.
Yeah, it just like she was like she ate shit hard, and then it was just back up and out.
Damn.
Yeah,
okay. Well, I think we should have had him go last. Nick, I guess we're gonna have to follow that shit. Thanks, Dick Fart.
Hey, it's the shows that you're scared for your life.
Oh, it's always the better one. So me and you just had. Well, let's not even get into that because that gets. Never mind.
And that's when J Bass told me that he would never ever cover another fucking gig for
It
me
was a rap
again.
I will
ever.
specify rap because I stopped up there for I think they had Young Thug and Bog's like, hey, you wanna hang around? I'm like, I'm good, man.
Nope. Bye.
So it's not that I don't want to watch it. It's just like this crowd gets really wild. Really
it goes quick, right? Every rap show's like
chaos ensues and it's all over.
Seems like they always end the same. Nick, worst show. Am I correct? Is ours the same, or do you have one? Because you did it. You're still doing it, but you've done it years after me.
There's like two that are probably that bad. There's like two that are probably that bad. Definitely, in the early years, the one with you was probably like it held the fucking belt for heavyweight for quite a while. It was kind of the cursor.
So to just so both. Okay, so mine is definitely back in Harrison. There is a production team. Nick remembers. You can call them out. They are the most unprepared, unprofessional, unbelievably fucking and it's Shinedown. That's what's amazing. It's Shinedown. It's Puddle of Mud. And who was the other? There was 3 big acts on this show.
Did Saliva play this one, or did they play the one before? Saliva played the second one?
It was Saliva. You're right. Click, click, boom. And I've seen that band play way too many fucking times.
The story why Josie's got, from what I've heard from his TM, of why he left Saliva is fucking hilarious, too.
Oh, I can't even imagine, because I've worked so many shows and I've seen him leave so many times. And he's the fattest coke addict in the world.
Them toothaches, son.
Damn. So anyway, me and Nick were out here. And dude, literally the only reason this concert even happened was because of Shinedown's tour manager.
Yeah.
This guy stepped up to the plate more than anyone I've ever seen in my life. But dude, they had the speakers. I'm not fucking around. They had the speakers. Their idea was like a pyramid.
It was a stacked array.
It was a stacked array in the shape of a triangle on both sides.
It was all single. It was all single cabinet.
Single cabinet, 1 speaker per cab. They were purple. I think so. They were heavier than a motherfucker. They literally didn't even have. Did they even have a lighting guy? They didn't even have an LD. I don't.
No, they didn't. They didn't have an LD.
They didn't bring an actual LD. They didn't even know how to rig lighting.
Yeah, they were in over the head.
Oh, dude, they took it because they saw that big price tag. And, dude, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they buy that gear for that show?
Man, I'm not quite sure. I don't know if it was a demo or they already owned it. I think it was somewhere in between the two.
Okay. And they, anyway, dude, the night is atrocious. The dude from Shinedown, God bless this man, he stepped up and
Panda.
He made it work.
Panda was his nickname. I don't know his real name, but everybody called him Panda.
That's right. Dude, and you know what I remember
Little
about it?
Little ginger dude.
Little ginger, long red hair, curly as a motherfucker, like Blake from, what's that funny-ass show that everybody likes? They just had the movie Game Over, Man. Workaholics.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of looked like him,
yeah.
but in military boots. That's what I remember. Because he's the guy that told me, is like, oh, you don't have a pair of these? Well, every production worker has a pair of these boots. Get a pair. And I was like, oh.
Take care of them feet.
That's right. That's where I learned that, was from that dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, he makes the night go off. Well, anyway, the show is whatever. It actually happens. We're an hour late. The 2 local bands get cut. And they were, dude, here's what's hilarious. They were set up, about to play. The TM comes out and goes, nope. And pulls the plug on them. They're standing in front of the crowd. They were literally about to start playing.
Well, I mean, that's one of the.
I felt real bad for him, man.
Well, I mean,
so bad.
It's a call that had to be made.
It did, and it had to be made by him, and he didn't actually want to, and he actually apologized. And if I'm not mistaken, those 2 bands got to hang out backstage.
Yeah, they still got paid.
They still got paid.
Still
they
happened.
Got catering.
Yeah.
So they made it right. I mean, it would have been cool because it was a big show.
Damage control, man. Damage control.
So then the first band comes out, which was, I do believe, Saliva. They come out, and then Puddle of Mud, and then it's Shinedown.
They could have just cut Saliva, really.
Well, everybody liked that.
Not at the time, bro. Not at the time.
Oh, yeah, they were riding. He was riding high.
Oh, Click Click Boom! When they played that was the headliner, and it was big. I mean, everyone was fucking into it. You know, I mean, we weren't because we were like, just hurry the fuck up. This night is fucking horror.
We're tired.
Yeah, we're tired. Let's go home. So anyway, we get done. These guys came here in a fucking Penske, a box truck.
Floor to ceiling
with gear. It's how late in the morning do you think it is? It was probably 2 a.m.?
I think I want to say it was like 3.
3?
It was late as shit. I remember getting back to Hurley's mom's house and it being like super late.
Right. It was so late. Hurley ended up getting us a hotel room this time around. And so we dude, it's the end of the night. We're literally throwing gear. Throwing it, not wheeling it. We're throwing it into this trailer.
There's no truck pack. No one is organizing the chaos here. Nope. And we just want every fucking element to get on that truck so the door can close so we can go sleep.
Here's the hilarious troll at the end of the night. We're so fucking mad and so done and so upset. Nick crawls his 300-pound linebacker ass up on top of this fucking gear. Me and Michael and I'm trying to remember who all was in this fuck fest of a shit show. It was me, you, Michael, and someone else. I think it was Aaron.
Yeah, I think it was Aaron.
We hoist this 300-pound, probably 10-foot.
Yeah, it's a truck, like
it was
truck
one
grade
of those
ramp.
Aluminum ramps, but it didn't have the storage underneath. It had to go in. And we lifted up to Nick. Nick grabs this fucking thing, and he literally ladybug pedals this fucking thing across all this gear. That is 7 fucking feet off the ground at this point.
Yeah.
And the production guys, like, too big. I mean, they look like Action Bronson times 2. I mean, I was like, dude, there's no fucking way these boys are getting this ramp off this gear. Like, somebody's about to get paid.
Dude, and he sets it down on top of that gear. He literally crawls out. If you can imagine Nick crawling out of like a cat door.
And was it like you had to crawl out backwards, right?
Yeah, you had to crawl out backwards.
And that's what I'm saying. If you can imagine Nick coming through a cat door, that's what that shit looked like. And he comes out of that fucking thing, grabs that strap, pulls that door down, and we lock it, and it's like, get the fuck out of our face. Bye. Like, leave now, and I hope you never come back. And I've never worked with him since. But, dude, that night was the shittiest fucking night. One, I give respect to the bands or whatever, but I fucking hate that music. And I was just like, I wasn't having the music. I was having a terrible time.
I mean, that's also what's turned me off a lot from like the Edge music is the fucking doing their shows.
It was Shinedown, but it was Saliva, but they were not first. I actually just remembered there was a band that was just becoming big, and they never even made it. But they did. They were the opener, and I can't remember their name. But I don't want to give it to.
There's a slew of
Saliva,
those.
right? Well, they were doing good. They were actually really cool. They were actually the best part of that night. The singer, the guitar player, and the bassist, I do believe we all hung out with.
Are we sure that wasn't Aranda that played that show?
Ooh.
No? Didn't Aranda? Or am I thinking of Thrice?
No. Thrice was at the... When you talking about when Thrice played with us and 15 other people?
And, I mean, they played with Aranda that night, too, right?
That was that night, yeah.
Yeah, that was the tattoo show.
Yeah, that was a tattoo show.
But it was one of those bands that opened up.
Right.
I don't know if it was them. I don't think it was them, maybe.
That doesn't sound right. I want to say it started with an S. It doesn't matter. That was a long time ago. So do you have a worse show? Did something really pass that?
There's that gig that me and J-Bass did at in West Helena after doing a 4th of July show on July 3rd in Collierville, Tennessee, with a fucking super small skeleton crew. We get this last minute
over 40,000 people. I think were actually in attendance that year, because like their fireworks show there is like the finale. Their opening is the finale for downtown Little Rock.
Oh,
like so they're sinking a shitload of money into this because it's rich folks everywhere.
Right.
There's like 4 or 5 decent sized cities around it, and Memphis included, that travel to Collierville to see this fireworks show, and there we are with. It's like 4 or 5 crew. There's a full lighting package, a full audio package, a hydraulic stage.
Yeah, that was the because we have chain motors that you pull your line array up with, and I forgot to pack 4 cables. I packed 3 on that. It was that show because after that we went to West Helena because the cables were there so you could. The motor was attached to the speakers, so it went up with it. Well, we only had 3 cables and 4 motors.
I think this is the first time I've ever heard you actually fucking own that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, I mean, because I swear, I put 4 cables in there. I counted them out, but at the end of the day, I'm the one who packed the case.
Dude, shit happens. Shit
And
happens when
3 cables were in there, so I packed 3 cables.
Shit happens when you're running on no steam.
Yeah,
and you got another gig to go to.
Well,
but yeah,
we do the Collierville gig, and then we get a call that we need to go to Helena after. This is 4th of July. Get my fucking tongue out of my mouth. 4th of July, and we're on the road from Collierville, Tennessee, to West Helena or Helena, West Helena, to do a R&B or a soul show or something of that nature. And we have gear being brought, moving lights being brought to us in a fucking Honda Civic out of Little Rock to make sure we have everything we need to do this show. And we get there, and we're there for about 2 hours. We're all tired, and like everybody's hating everybody. And the client hasn't showed up yet. So we decide to go get lunch. And while we're eating lunch, the client walks into the one of fucking 2 or 3 restaurants down there and finds us and is like, "Hey man, you're gonna do my show?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure. We'll come load in." And so we have to go pick up a fucking electrical ladder to rig the fucking PA points and the lighting points. And the whole time, a big deal with doing these gigs is, are we going to get paid? Am I about to do all of this for nothing?
Right.
So we go get this ladder. We get back. We start setting up. And the lady from the part, like King Biscuit down there in Helena, comes over to me and tells me that I should probably make sure that I collect payment because they don't know about this guy. He seems shady. So we finally collect payment, get everything set up. Me and Jay Bass are building the lighting rig. I mean, we have everything ready for an artist. We've sat there and programmed for 2 or 3 hours. So no matter what person walks in, we can put up a lighting look. J-Bo and Brock have been working on the PA, trying to get it tuned, get everything ready. And so we're there on deck, ready to go. And the guy comes up and tells us we can pack the shit up.
What?
Yeah, the only person that showed up was a DJ that was supposed to be opening it. Was the only person that showed up. It was a phone call. We didn't even get to see the people.
So apparently us, like sweating him on the money and making him pay us, took away from the money he was going to pay his artist.
Oh.
And I guess his walk-up was going to pay us. I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know if we were going to get paid from vending and like 5s and 10s like we had before in duffel bags. And you're carrying like $20,000 back to the city from whatever city you're doing the gig in, but
looking like a hooker in a fucking main street. Oh my god!
Right?
I mean, like every Hispanic show that they throw at the Metroplex, that's what it's like. There's duffel bags full of fucking money.
Bags full of money. What the fuck? Because people still dealing cash. Some people.
Well, I mean, it's the Hispanic community, like their music, like the mariachi bands and stuff that come in, like. It's
Bro,
a very eclectic.
They love $100 bills too. I know that for a fact.
That's why that Bar and Grill Shooters up by Baseline. That's why it's still open. Because there for a while it was on like a 6-month
Shooters, dude.
It'd be like a 6-month lease on these sports bars and stuff that would go in, and people would spend more money on the venue, the building itself, and no, they just had to get the right people in, and there ain't a lot of.
You got to know your demographic, dude.
Yeah,
you got to know your audience. Well.
But yeah, duffel bag boys, man.
Hey man, that shit. Whatever. Money's money.
Guy came up with the money, but couldn't come up with the artist money.
Oh, and then everyone canceled.
So we pack up. Mind you, again, this is fucking 4th of July. This is a holiday. Like everybody else is popping fireworks and shit. No, we're just going and playing practice and setting up a PA and a lighting rig for nobody. And then tearing it down. It's like, man, we could have stayed at home, do this shit.
Yeah, we pretty much we're like one of our mobiles, like they're 20 by 30, the SL100.
That's the I think it's a 32. It's a 32 by 24.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
no, that's the 320, or no, the 260. Damn, I'm jumbled up here.
No, because like the rig we set up, man, it was just like everything but the stage was we put hands on.
Shit.
Because it was an amphitheater. That was the stage.
Right. Damn.
Yeah, it was an ordeal. Like,
yeah, but our hotel we stayed at though, it gets better. The story gets better.
The good old Delta Inn.
Yeah.
So we get the truck loaded We're headed back to the hotel with two things in mind. One is beer or liquor, and the other is fucking fireworks because it's 4th of July. We're not at home. We're going to shoot some fucking fireworks. Like, this
right.
as American as you can get.
And
I mean, we got the fireworks, and we're out back having a good time. I brought my computer speakers because the truck speakers we had didn't work.
right.
A broke ass truck.
Yep,
Yeah.
but USB and a fucking aux port, man, you got it.
Right, dude. It's
But yeah, we're out there shooting and fucking.
I think I know this story.
Smoking jazz cigarettes.
Yep, the left-handed man.
Little devil's lettuce.
But the guy we had with us, like when we pulled into the hotel, he's like, "Man, that's a dope dealer's car right there. Like that's, like he's one of the top people."
I think
because,
I said that.
Huh?
I think I said that.
You said that?
I think
okay.
I said that.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's.
Well, I know that the guy that was with us, he had some dealings with the underworld. But no, we see like we're out back, parked by the truck in the gravel parking lot, shooting off fireworks, playing loud music, having a good time. Like not
right.
Like I don't feel like it's being obnoxious. Like, but it's the 4th of
Southern evening.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was a country ass hotel.
Yeah.
but
no, we're
then,
shooting off
then
fireworks.
what happens?
Oh, a fucking
so you're shooting off fireworks. You're smoking the devil's lettuce.
a Dodge Charger fucking peels in to the gravel parking because we're still shooting off fireworks,
Right.
and apparently they're preparing for a fucking raid
Yeah.
on the hotel we're staying at.
Operation Delta Blues.
Yep.
So not only do you have a fucked ass night, but the night that you try to make
Oh.
better also gets fucked off.
I mean, it's like I said, we're the only white people down there, man. So like that privilege came in, and like they were like, "What if we weren't good people?" Because he just fucking he made the loop. He saw what we were, and then was just like, "Okay, I'm going over here."
right. But
And then-
didn't
and then-
well,
Then that rush happened where the boys came in
Yeah,
and
not nine deep. They were fucking in a row, fucking
Yeah.
going around the corners. Had their dogs in the back and shit. Like they were
German,
fucking,
German Shepherds ready to roll.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay, that night wins for shitty night.
So I told J-Bass put the jazz cigarettes up, and then then our question of concern was, well, do we stop shooting fireworks? And I was like, no, we do not stop shooting fireworks because I don't know what's
Well,
going
then you
on
look
here,
guilty, bro.
but I want them to ask.
Yep.
If they want something, I want them to ask. And finally, they asked.
Ask they did. Like, we just saw this happen, so pop.
He said he didn't want us to excite anyone, and
Right, because everyone's on edge.
I think they were like making a breach or something. But yeah, that
Don't
car
mind-
backed in was the telltale sign.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, always. If the car backs in, it's definitely a go time. Well, I think we've been fucking going at this for a hot minute, my friend. If you could give any advice, Nick, I think you're the guy with it. We can all go around the fucking table here and give out some friendly tips. But if there's anything you'd tell anyone as far as like, maybe let's just go on this route. Like anyone that wants to get into this fucking business, what's the number one fucking thing to expect getting into this business?
You're definitely gonna have to pay your dues, but don't let your ambition and someone else who's trying to run some scheme, don't let it take your ambition and your creativity and make you feel like you're locked in a box. Like you should get paid for everything that you do. Once you start providing that craft and you start getting your niche, like don't let anyone hold you down.
Right. So once you get the knowledge, once you've paid your dues, don't let people step all over you.
Exactly. I
Right.
mean, there's some good folks out there, but there's a lot of bad folks out there. So just
Due diligence. You got to know. You got to know who's who. And people are going to tell you too. That's another thing about this industry is everybody talks. You're going to know the bad ones and you're going to know the good ones.
It doesn't. I mean, it didn't really happen too much in the production scene in Arkansas. I felt like, but like being blackballed and stuff, like wasn't like a handful of folks maybe I think
Right.
that really did get the whole like, oh, you're not welcome to do sound here anymore or
Right.
what
And
have you.
I think the most important thing is don't let it repel you from it, because it is really fun, man. Like I said, the only thing that kept me from doing it still is if I'd have kept doing it longer, I could have definitely been making the money that I needed to support, my now wife and all those things. But like really, it was just the money. That's what drove me away from it. It wasn't the bad acts or all the stuff. But man, I think I still to this day have some of my best memories are in my production life. Like I do bands too, man, and I have a lot of great memories from that too. But like
yeah.
dude, there's just some nights where like,
I mean,
we're closing down the fucking village, and me, you, and Mike having that fucking triple baconator eat off.
Well, yeah,
who can eat this nasty ass burger the fastest?
The fucking fastest.
Working with fucking Green Day, like life changing. You get to meet these fucking idols, and even the bad shit, man, like fucking Limp Bizkit being a dick fart and throwing shit at our friend. All that stuff teaches you stuff, and that's really fucking cool. But you can't let it discourage you, man. Like if we'd got mad and all quit that night because it's like, well, we shouldn't have to put up with this. It's like, well, we wouldn't have the other 5 years of stories and 6 years of stories. It really was kind of crazy. As doing the production stuff definitely made us smarter. It made us know, it definitely lets us meet a lot of people. We have a ton of connections because of it. And it's just like some of the best stories I have in my whole life are from this stuff.
Yeah, I would have to agree on that note, and just being able to make someone give you money for you to do something that you love is pretty fucking awesome. After going from working in a retail shop or going and doing this or doing that, like things that you absolutely like hate, but it is a very big struggle. I mean, you're gonna sacrifice a lot for that happiness.
Definitely.
And chasing your money, you got folks, they ain't gonna pay you. They talk about they pay you next week.
There's fucking bounce on out without even paying anybody.
No tomorrow in rock and roll when it comes to getting paid. Like no tomorrow.
No.
Like I've had to block folks' fucking cars in. I've had to post up at gates.
Get his tires cut one night. I mean, literally got his tires gashed. Wild nights, dude. Well, I mean, honestly, dude, I'm good. Are you good? You got anything to add to this pile?
I mean, the only thing I could really add would probably be like if you're first starting out and you're very ambitious, like you might need to leave your ego a little bit at the door, because the humor that comes in a lot of production, I've noticed that for the most part it's going to be either intense or very fucking dark.
Oh, it's dark. Yeah. No.
And it gets there very quick.
Oh, your friend just died. Boo-hoo. Like it gets dark. Nick, anything you'd like to add that maybe we just didn't gloss over?
Man, it's a pirate ship. So when you land on someone other's, like some other production company's boat, like learn how they do things and find your way through things through them. Like don't try to reinvent the wheel. If they have a way they want to do something, then you follow that and ease those thoughts in slowly. I mean, don't try to change anybody's route or means.
That's a great one. That ties into the adaptiveness, but also definitely it's a slow burn, man. You're talking about years and years of working with people. I mean, even just the concert venue that we all worked at together 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And it took that long till we were like this awesome cohesive unit where you almost didn't even have to talk. Everybody just knew their place. We even had badges. Remember those badges I had made up, and when everybody had like their own job, and they were we got into like specifics. It was a good time, man. But this has been fucking awesome.
It really has.
Nick, thanks for inviting us into your house, dude, and letting us do this here. And I know we did this because it's football season, but now we get to drink fucking beers and eat delicious hamburgers.
It's true.
Yeah.
So anyone that's listening, ha ha ha, fuck you, you didn't get to taste it. But anyway, this has been Crashcast. Find us on everything possible, minus a couple, at Crashcast Pod on social media, and on Twitter it's Crashcast Pod 1. Thanks fucking Nick for hosting and being just awesome in general. Fucking J-Bass always. And
thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, dude, any fucking time you want, more than welcome. And to those of you listening and you're interested, hell, man, fucking find us on Facebook, talk to us, find us on Twitter, talk to us, anything you want, ask questions about this stuff, and maybe Nick can chime in on a thing or two and give you some actual professional advice, even if you're just a band starting out and want to know some production life. So with that said, everyone, thanks for listening.